Nyaho! Nyaho, everybody! Hi, 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 hi. Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, Big E with the first cast! Friendly Emperor! Nyaho, Big E, thank you for the first cast! Nyaho, Nyaho. Nyaho, Leora, thank you for watering the fish and watering the chat. Nyaho, Kailani, oh my gosh, hi, welcome in. I've been waiting to see your name pop up for stream. Oh my goodness, guys, we raided her last time. Hecka, can we get a shout out? Nyaho, Hecka. Kai, she, her, I love sushi. Oh my goodness. Oh my, I'm in love. I'm in love. Nyaho Jaeger, Terminus degree is just Emperor wanting someone to take his seat while he fixes the Imperium. Noted and goaded. Noted and goaded. Oh, thank you for this, Jaeger. We've given Jaeger too much power. We have given you too much power. You should never have found this redeem. It's gonna be ridiculous. How is anybody gonna take me seriously when I'm a sushi with glasses? Huh? I just have the correct amount of power. It's inflation time, boys. It is time to inflate. Anyways. Hi, everybody. I'm here. Sorry, the schedule. There was no schedule. Nothing. Not a one. I just came out of nowhere. Hello, Gaijin Hodun. I just came out of nowhere. I had some interviews trying to turn my life around this week. And yeah. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled schedule. And then the week after that, my wife is visiting. So we will not be back to our regularly scheduled schedule. And then after that, we'll be back. And you know what? Just play it by ear, guys. Play it by freaking ear. Okay? We're playing it by ear. Don't leave me. Wait.
New fishy
Don't
alert.
leave me.
Owens Mark 91 just
Owen, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Don't leave me. You think this is a game? This is not a game. This is a reaction video. Don't leave. Anyways. Best routine there is. Yeah. So, today we are doing our Warhammer Wednesday, which is on Thursday because Wednesday was busy and I was sleepy, but that's too long to put in the title, so it's just Warhammer Reacts. Woo! Woo! We are reacting to the Grey Knights, okay? So, YouTube loves the poll feature, hates to comment without a poll. I had like 3 people comment on me just putting little feelers out and being like, what do you want me to react to? Pick a Space Marine. Well, first, I pinged the subscriber chat on Discord. I didn't ping them. I just posted in there. Subscribers, you get first dibs. And YouTube members on what we react to. Nobody answered. And I was like, okay, cool. Next, I asked on YouTube. Nobody answered. And then I put out a poll. 5 people answered, and I was like, cool, I'm going to make a poll of these 5 answers. And then everybody came out of the woodwork and was like, where is this on the poll? Where is this? Where is that? Where is this? And I was like, I was asking you, and you didn't say anything. But it's okay. I guess I don't need to ask anymore because I know. Thanks. And it was decided upon to react to the Grey Knights. As you do know, gray is my favorite color. And also, that's it. Yay! Woo! Imperial Guard lore. When? It's Cumin. I've had day 1 people since my first reaction asking for the Black Templars. They did not win the vote, but don't worry. I've had subscribers and YouTube members asking for Ultramarines. It's coming. Nyaho Axel. Okay? There's a lot of things for my brain to learn. So don't you worry. Once again, do not leave. Ill Smurfs. Okay, watch that one on mute, I guess. What do you mean? We've been playing Space Marine. What do you mean? Ill Smurfs. Everything in there is a Smurf. Blood Ravens lore went. Okay. Blood Ravens were on the list, but I feel like I should start from the top. I should like do a whole Sanguinius one, and then a Blood Angel one, and then a Blood Raven one. Especially because Riri loves Sanguinius. That's her husband. I did comment my distaste to Smurfs since the first stream. That is true. That is true. We are on the list, boys! Back to YouTube. Welcome back to YouTube, Biggie. Okay, so I got some new stuff for us today for Grey Knight. We were specifically recommended to watch Isyander&Koda again. You guys love them. They're pretty cool kind of guys. We got another Weshammer video. And that video ties in the Sisters of Battle. So, hello, a segue. And then we got some gaming storyteller who I don't think I have reacted to before. So this is going to be fun. And then finally, we have some Krakduk, which you guys have loved. You guys have loved and been asking for. So I was like, you know what, why not? Blood Ravens are magpies and steal everything lore over. That's not it! There's more! There's more! Black Templars lore, don't worry. I know you guys have been wanting the Black Templars. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, so my list right now... Let me see the list. Hold on. Bring up the list. Kana, the list. The list right now is Black Templars, Ultramarines, Blood Angel, Blood Raven, Sanguinius. Someone else said something. Hi, Team Nyaho. Someone else said something. Someone recommended things I already reacted to, guys. I reacted to the Sharks, the Minotaurs, the Lamenters, the Primarchs, the Timeline, the Orcs. It is 93% of their lore. Okay, well, I gotta learn that other 7% for you guys. So, yeah. I was also... Okay, let me know what you think of this. I was also thinking, should we do, like, Primarch and then Space Marine founding and then Succession? Should we do like that? Or should we just keep bopping around? Because initially, I thought about doing that. Despite naming Blood Ravens have nothing to do with the Blood Angels. Or do they? Well, I don't know. I didn't watch their lore yet. Would you like me to become more streamlined, or could we keep bopping around? Let me know. Let me know that. Put that in the comments below if you're not watching this live. Also, hi, relax, Nyaho. To the person that said Blood Ravens are only magpies, name the most crazy relic they have. Yeah, name it now. Bonjour, stopping to say, like, thanks for... Stopping to, like, say thanks for taking my recommendation, and I'll watch the stream when I get to the chance. Okay, thanks you for stopping by. I'll see you in the VOD. There is a 6-hour video of all the 2 founding chapters of the Ultimate... 6 hours?! It's crazy. But, you know what? You're a YouTube member and a Twitch subscriber, so... What am I gonna do, right? So yeah. The question I'm asking and I want your response to either now or in the VOD is, do you want organized, or do you want me to keep just bopping around and going wherever my brain and the chat and my interest takes me? The second question is, tomorrow we are going to have a sponsored stream! Yay, yay, yay! As you may know, I am affiliated with Zephyr Arcade, !Zephyr. Look, link in the bio. Link down below, whatever the YouTubers say. Zephyr Arcade has sent us a package. We are going to unbox it. We are going to build what is inside it. And then we're gonna look at the other stuff they sell, and we're gonna buy stuff and spend money. Are you saying nice things about me? I am, Zephyr, I am. So the second question is, I'm going to stream the unboxing. It's gonna be a sponsored stream, obviously. But we're going Zephyr shopping tomorrow at the stream. I was thinking of streaming the unboxing and like interacting with chat and blah, 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 blah. And having the VOD up on Twitch, but unlisting it on YouTube so that I can cut it and edit it and turn it into a video and make it cool and put that on YouTube. Would you rather see an edited video, also sponsored? Or would you just don't care and you'll just look at the VOD? Let me know so I can know whether I should put effort. Yay, effort! But that was my idea. The VOD will be on Twitch and a video will be on YouTube. But I will stream it live for both so I can interact with both of you chats at the same time. Nyaho Calio. I like it a bit all over. There we go. So yeah, tomorrow is the sponsored stream from Zephyr Arcade. Can we guess what I want? Can we guess what I have? We'll see. Live. Yes. Live and in action. Those are the two things that I want to hear. Okay? You totally got bugs! You shipped me bugs! Guys, we are sponsored by Zephyr Arcade. They have shipped bugs. And we are shopping for bugs. Please have an exterminator reach out to sponsor me next. Thank you. Okay. Hi, the crafting gamer Nyaho. Free bug. No. Get the flamer. Oh my gosh, they shipped me a flamer. That's so nice, and I'm pretty sure legal. Woo! Okay, so we are going to start with the Grey Knights. We're going to start with Koda and Isyander's video just to get the lay of the land. I'll get a heavy flamer heard and listen to. And then we will go in. Some of the things might be repetitive, but hey, that's okay. Because I've been reading a lot of comments of you guys saying that I'm missing stuff. I'm missing stuff. So if I hear it 3 times, how can I miss it 3 times? You know, unless I'm super talented. I recently learned that Grey Knight people like feet. What? Did you guys set me up to talk about feet? What the heck? Nyaho, oh my gosh, Nyaho Luton! What the heck? Oh no. How'd they find me? Luton's video was also recommended for me to watch. But, okay, can I be honest with you? Riri wants to play Valorant with me tonight, so I was gonna make it a 5-hour stream, okay? I was gonna watch all of it, and but then I was like, oh, she wants to play Valorant. I can't make it a 5-hour stream. We will be reacting to more of Luton's video. I don't know. Hopefully, have you seen me react to you? I'm sorry in advance, or I'm sorry in retrospect. I don't know. This is so meta. Hi. This is the setup. This is a setup for feet. For the wife. The wife. No feet. F the feet. Fun fact, the 2 box of Warhammer that I ever painted was 5 Grey Knight Terminators. Let's go. People love the Grey Knights, so I hear. Interesting that we are learning about them, because what I do know, the cursory information that I do know, is that they are not from a Primarch. So that wouldn't make sense for me to go through all the Primarchs and then all the founding chapters. Yeah, I know a thing. But yeah. So yeah, let me know. Like I said, Black Templars, Ultramarines. Oh, Salamanders, duh. I actually wanted to know about the Salamanders. And nobody brought them up until I published the poll. And then someone was like, what about the Salamanders? And I was like, oh, now we want to talk about the Salamanders. Okay, cool. It's not like I had this poll up for 24 hours. 28 even. But yeah. You guys knew I would love the Sharks. You knew I would love the Lamenters, and you know I'm gonna love the Salamanders, so we're getting into them. But yeah, let us learn. 20, there are only 18. Okay, 19 if we count. Oh my god, oh my god. Stimpack liked his videos too and even played with him in Space Marine 2. Well, yeah, well, Stim's large and massive, okay? Stim knows everybody. I'm just a little guy. I'm just here. I'm just joking around, but I was proud of my... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, I was wanting to watch it. I was gonna make this a 5-hour stream. Somebody wanted me to watch specifically... Was it your Grey Knights video? What did they say? Oh yeah! Big E! You're the one who said I should watch Luton's Grey Knights video. Oh my god, I'm letting 2 people in chat down. This is the worst. I'm gonna retire, guys. The video's over. We're not reacting to anything except my disappointment and failure. Bye. Just kidding. Yeah, some people have said they feel like my ADHD brain doesn't follow along multi-hour videos well. 1, rude. And 2, true. But 3, I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna do it, don't worry, there will be more Luton if you're a Luton fan or if you're Luton himself. There will be more in the future. Is there another video that you're especially proud of? I will make a special one just for that one. What are you proud of? Show me your proudest moment. If you say it's a Grey Knights, we're gonna do reaction part 2. Hi, Dreadnought. The Grey Knights are genetically direct from the Emperor. There are also the Bass Turds. I see what you're doing there. Of the Space Marines. GW virtually never updates their line, and usually it's to take away models. Well, now I'm gonna learn about that. They're space bastards. Can I say that on YouTube? Never mind. Anyways, let's learn about the Grey Knights. I like the Krieg and the STC videos. Let's freaking go. Write that down. You know what? Let's just favorite it right now. Twitch is recommending me VTubers like crazy. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Sorry, it's just me. I'm favoriting. Eh? It says I already watched this. No, I didn't. Crazy. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Like, save for later. Oh no, not the Grey Knights. Okay, guys, you know what? Can't please you all.
New fishy alert.
Please you all.
Evo_071996
Thanks for the new
just
follow,
swam
Evil.
until
Welcome in. The VTuber Warhammer two-way pipeline is real. Hey, I'm just a guy who likes orcs. What can I say? City-chan! ADHD! Thank you for the ADHD. Eh. Ooh. Wait. Not me looking at all of Luton's videos and being like, Astartes traitors. 3-parter. Let's freaking go. Okay. Anyways, back to what we're talking about today. I'm not distracted. You're distracted. Orcs is the law for all the boys. Yeah. Orcs tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Is that what Zephyr Arcade shared with us? Is that it? Do you think I requested orcs? The gay nights. Now, where's that video? Let me react to those gay nights. Gayware. Show me. Something from the lore, something not from the lore side, but the actual gameplay. The gay knights had an unfortunate incident in their name that their codex was from Matt's hand. I did the bastard thing because YouTube can be kind of touchy and you never really know what they're going to block out of respect to your stream. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but hey, there goes my 92 cents if I do. Anyways, let's get into it. Let me learn. I have my notes. Guys, I am streaming on YouTube and Twitch. I have a Google spreadsheet ready to go so I can take notes. Let me get larger. YouTube is a strange land. True. And we are going to learn. Let me get my notes. Here are my notes. Okay. Are we ready? Chat, what's the lore of the stream? We have not started. The lore is I'm reacting to Grey Knights. These are some of the videos that I'm going to react to. I was recommended to react to Lutens, but because I want to play Valorant with my wife, Yude, I didn't include that in the video, and now everyone's disappointed in me. And the one time I don't react to him, he shows up in chat. Ooh, I'm doing great. That's the lore of the stream. That's the lore of the stream. I'm disappointed too. What the hell? We didn't learn anything. Just blame Riri. I will never blame my wife. I will take all the blame. Don't worry. I'll react to Luton like 3 more times and he won't be here for it. And then I'm going to be like, guys, we're reacting to this new person I found. And then he's going to be like, oh, you hate me? VTubers nowadays. You can't blame Riri. She's struggling from CPU issues. True. Don't worry. She's going to visit me. We're going to go to Adepticon together. I'm going to treat her nice. We're going to eat sushi together. It's going to be great. And we're going to look at orcs, probably. What is she like? We're going to look at girly pops. We're going to look at sisters. And yeah, it's going to be cute. Punish Sakana by keeping the sushi on her head through the whole stream. Nah, I'm taking this shit off. I love the orcs. Same. Sponsored stream tomorrow. Reacting stream now. Guys, am I the one with ADHD or is it you? Because I came on here ready to go. And you guys are going poop. Good night. You? Oh, okay. True. Anyways. Let's go. Why not both? You know what, fair. What the hell, Verdo? You can't redeem VIP. Ban him. Yeah, look at cat. Anyways. Let's go. Oh, I also put a gain. I put a gain on YouTube, so let me know.
This is a Legion.
Let me know how the volume is. Because you guys are like, I can't hear the video. And I'm like, it's blasting in my ears.
This is a Legion that's been training for God knows how long because warp time is a joke. Tyranids could be eating world after world and Grey Knights will go, suck. There's one of them who's just stranded in the warp right now and demons just leave him be. I am Isyander.
And I am Koda.
And thank you for tuning into this episode on the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights.
They're more silvery than they are gray.
The Silver Knights.
I'd still call them gray.
Gray.
Oh.
I'd still call them gray. But today we're going to cover the Grey Knights, where they come from, what they do, why you will never, ever see one or want to see one.
Or should see one.
Exactly. The Custodes and how they feel about the Grey Knights, as well as their super
Ooh,
secret
Custodes.
box hidden somewhere.
Secret box.
Secret box.
100%.
What's in the box?
We'll find out later.
That's the part where you say pain.
No, it's actually not pain. Nobody knows. Anyway, we'll get to that later. First and most important bit of business is no yellow shirt today.
No yellow shirt today.
Nope. Despite the fact that you guys love it.
I'm also not wearing a
studio
yellow
is
shirt.
Arctic today. So we are going with the turtleneck so I don't freeze to death. It will be making a comeback at some point. Hopefully soon.
Yellow shirt.
For
the
you
classic yellow shirt.
For you audio listeners, you still get the smooth voice, so it's a win-win. I will be disappeared into
His
the
voice
night
do
if I
be
do
smooth.
not properly set the scale for these guys.
Set the
So
scene.
let's
Set
do
the
that.
scene,
Of
King.
the tens of thousands of you watching and listening right now, which, as an aside, insane to say,
To the 5 of you watching right now, which is insane to say. Sorry. I don't have a smooth voice. And I don't have drip. I'm just here being a nerd with my Google Notes. Isyander&Koda, my boys. Good boys, good boys. He's not wearing a yellow shirt. You missed that. Hello? I'm taking notes. My notes, Grey Knights, no yellow shirt. Freaking test me.
About...
Insanely great.
I know, insanely great. We love you guys. Most of you would be guardsmen, though. I love you,
Oh,
but most of
me?
you are guardsmen. That's a fact. Something like 99% of you would be frontline cannon fodder that will die in 15 hours tops.
Okay, not economically. Not socioeconomically. But in this moment, I'm the 1%, and I refuse to believe any different. Proceed. I like your voice. Thanks. That's so nice. Thank you for watering the chat. I'm going to drink too. Why did you water me? What the heck?
That's just 40K.
That's just 40K.
That's just 40K, baby.
Maybe 50 of you would go on to be like proper space marines.
50.
And that's me being generous.
Guys, that's probably all of us right now. I know there's not 50 of you. Look at that. Look at that. We all made it. Statistically, we're in. You would be a space shark? Thank you for seeing me.
Those odds are a lot worse. But for the sake of generosity, 50 of you would be space marines, right? One of you would be a Grey Knight.
Me!
Maybe 2.
Oh,
Tops.
2 of us?
Being very generous. If you
Together.
actually want to go with the statistics, a quarter of a person would be a Grey Knight. You'd have a Grey
Writing that
Knight
down.
hand maybe out of all of us. You will never and should never see a Grey Knight. They are basically unknown for a couple of reasons we're going to get into
Write that
today.
down.
But one of them is they're so rare.
Rare.
They're
Writing that down.
so rare. They're technically the last... well, there's not the last because there's new chapters every 5 seconds. But they were the last ones created like directly under the Emperor's purview. It was a Hail Mary pass at the end of the Horus Heresy, at the very end of it. That Horus Heresy is basically Family Feud on an intergalactic scale. That is all you need to know.
It's Family Feud on an intergalactic scale with Steve Harvey just shouting, "Kill!
Kill! That is exactly what's been going on.
Steve Harvey.
Their whole purpose was to improve upon this entire Space Marine thing. See, an ungodly large freak of nature who fires bottle-sized bullets is hilarious.
No. It was pointed out by someone in our community Discord that these are not bottle-sized. They are Monster Energy tall boy can-sized.
Those sized bullets that explode on impact is hilarious until it's turned on you. And that is what that's what the Emperor figured out during the Horus Heresy when half of his favorite toys turned on his Imperium.
My action figures.
Basically, they trashed the place. Not one world was left most worlds were touched by the heresy.
Yeah.
Directly. It
The
was
heresy's touching me.
bad. So in complete desperation, the Emperor sent out his right-hand man, Malkador, to find him
Uncle Malky.
some worthy candidates to lead a new chapter that's gonna be an improvement upon this whole project that's clearly not working too great at the moment.
Okay,
Space Marines
cute.
2.
Cute.
Kind of.
Needs assessment. Okay. Program development. Okay, buzzwords. Hello, hire me. Interview me, hire me. I'm passionate about program development. Uncle Malky in here being like, okay, we're learning, we're growing. I'm adaptable. HR buzzword. Okay.
Space Marines 1.5?
We'll get to that. This isn't any guy either. Malkador deserves his own episode.
He's not just every guy, any guy.
Woefully underrepresented because he's so cool. Not only is he the Emperor's right-hand man and somebody who the Emperor talks to like an equal,
for the rest,
he's able to outright scold Primarchs like he's their uncle.
Is their uncle.
Yeah. And if that's not enough.
Was supposed to be their teacher. Was supposed to be their Manny. Malkador the Manny. I know lore. Hello? Look at that. Look at that. And you know how I know that lore? Because I watch Luton.
As we all know, the Emperor sits on the Golden Throne, a massive psychic beacon turned life support machine. Its entire purpose is to amplify the hell out of anybody who sits on it and kind of serve as a center point in this fast travel network the Emperor was trying to build. Because
magical
fast
amp
travel in 40k
for your butt.
You have to walk through the Devil's Front lawn to get anywhere. It's not great. So he was trying to build a better version like the Eldar have, right? This Golden Throne was the center of it, and it requires you to be one hell of a psyker, right? To give you a sense of scale, the Emperor sits on it, and it boosts his light to be visible all over the galaxy. He becomes a lighthouse sitting on it.
It's a big psychic lighthouse, yeah.
Exactly. Anybody lesser turns to dust if they so much as touch it. When Horus made it to the Emperor's front door and the Emperor had to leave the chair to go fight him, Malkador sat in his stead.
And he didn't get, like, fried?
He did in the very end, don't get me wrong. But he held it running for the entire duration of that fight.
Got it.
He only turned to dust when the Emperor was returned, broken and battered, onto the throne.
That's impressive.
Right? So Malkador deserves his own episode. One hell of a guy. This is who the Emperor sent out to find, to scout people worthy of this new project. And he came back with 8.
8.
That's the best he could find.
8
to lead this new project. Granted, they were really cool. They were those guys.
They were eight big guys, but
8 chads, 8 cool guys.
But no, well, technically he found 12.
Oh.
The Grey Knights and the Inquisition go hand in hand. So the total number Malkador found were 12. 4 were regular people, though they're really esteemed lords and regents and all that. So they went on to form the Inquisition as we know it today. The other 8 went on to lead the Grey Knights, and they got the seal of approval from the Emperor himself. So, with that being co-signed, he rendezvoused with the rest of his units, who'd been scouring the universe as well, to find good candidates. And they didn't just check in Imperial worlds. They checked everywhere for the best psychers who were both loyal
Universal
and duty-focused,
scouting.
and then had them go through the most rigorous interrogation possible to see if they were even corruptible.
Yeah, because this was the end. This was towards the end of the Horus. The Horusy.
The Horusy.
The Horusy.
This is towards the end of the Horus heresy. So they're just like, we can't have you turn traitor now. Like, you're our last ditch. If you turn traitor, we're screwed.
Exactly. There was zero bias in the
You're
selection
our last
process.
hope,
They
Obi-Wan
got
Kenobi.
anyone they could. So some people came from Imperial worlds that knew the heresy and saw it firsthand, and they came hardened from that. Others were people who were brought into this intergalactic war at the end of it.
They're like, wait.
So they just found out Space Jesus is having a family feud.
There's a Horusy right now?
Exactly.
When did this start?
And those guys still signed on. Oh. That's the most impressive thing. These people who just now found out about all this were like, yeah, okay, I'm down. And they passed all the tests. But
yeah, I'm down.
That's not the only reason the Grey Knights are impressive. Because most Space Marines get their gene seed from a Primarch. This is one of the Emperor's sons.
I know this part.
Usually it's a facet of the Emperor. Is the easiest way to think about it. They have one thing he's really good at, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Not as well-rounded as the Emperor at all, right?
No.
It's the blueprint for a Space Marine, sometimes even altering their personality a bit to better fit in, right? The Grey Knight's blueprint is the Emperor's.
It just comes directly from him.
It's directly from the source. Yeah. So here are
Increase the volume.
These best from the Imperium, given the gene seed from the Emperor himself, and then Malkador covered the planet in all kinds of sigils and then threw it into the warp.
Oh.
He's really powerful.
Oh.
Safely. That's the most important thing, because
safely threw it into the warp.
Safely chucked it into the warp. Most people would have screwed it up.
Yeah.
Most people would have.
The entire planet's insane now.
Yeah. No, he threw it into the warp for safekeeping, and left instructions with the 4 other. Because remember, 12, 8 went with the Grey Knights. The other 4 went on to
and
the
then
Inquisition.
4 joined the Inquisition with the Righteous Fury.
We need to stop with the For Honor references.
Okay.
It's a problem. And told those 4 that, hey, they'll be back eventually. Keep an eye out for them. And then went on to go do the whole sit on Golden Throne, turn to dust thing. Yeah, Malkador had a rough ending. Really cool guy, though.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Also, fun
Loved
fact,
him.
he's one of the few people who know what happened to the 2nd and the 11th Primarch. Mm-hmm.
He carries that secret? Well, carried it to his grave, I guess.
Mm-hmm. 1,000,000%. And so, that is where the Grey Knight plot ended for all of 5 seconds. The Horsey.
I made you do it. I made you do it.
Oh, God. The Horus Heresy ended. The Emperor's left quadriplegic on the throne. And then, in a few years afterwards, planet came back.
It just popped right back out.
The Inquisition was expecting this, but pretty much nobody else was. But this was post-heresy. Think of it as rebuild.
All the Primarchs know about their 2 brothers? Everyone? Fascinating.
Building after World War II. Not
Yeah.
everybody's going to notice everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to notice an extra building where there wasn't one.
These were the seed vaults after the apocalypse. They just randomly opened back up.
Not even. There's just so much chaos, and this was also when Gilliman was splitting every legion up into chapters. So there was a lot of
moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, so nobody noticed when the Inquisition found a new chapter without a declared Primarch and just put them in as the 666th. Nobody noticed?
They're the 666th?
Yes, they are.
Fascinating.
I love the Grey Knights. I say this about
They're the anti-Satan force.
I say this about
every
faction. Every faction, partially because I've said this before, I'll say it again. Whenever I'm covering a faction, I take the approach of it's state-mandated hype man. I'm there for them in a way nobody else can be. But the Grey Knights actually have become one of my favorites after reading about them. And part of it is how hard they lean into the whole demons and demon hunter thing. Starting with the 666th Legion.
I love that.
Isn't right?
That's so good.
And then,
so stupid, but so good.
They're fantastic. And then
666
now, they're
demon
an official
hunters.
chapter. They have been trained. You know, it's only been a few years for the people outside the warp, but time in the warp is a joke.
It's funky.
So they came out fully prepared. This is a legion that's been training for God knows how long because warp time is a joke.
Say.
Yeah.
So they set out to do the
Eons.
work that they were originally created to do, which is the other reason you will never see a Grey Knight. And this one's the most concerning one. But before we get into that, did you know that we actually upload 2 whole episodes every week?
2 whole episodes
Yes,
every
The only
week.
way to get the
I
other
could
one is to
never.
go to patreon.com/Isyander&Koda. That is right. Over there, you can get a special bonus
Please
episode
support
every
Isyander
week,
and
like
Koda.
clockwork, I might add. And you get access to the community Discord, which has been incredible fun to keep up with. And you get access to the limited run patches we put out every time we hit a goal. We're right now working on 500, and we have about 100 slots left. So if you want to get in on that, now is the time.
About 110.
2 years ago was the time. Get on it.
I'm future-proofing it because we're going to have 100 by then.
Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly. So you want to get in on that before the spots are gone. If you're already there, thank you very much. You're the only way this is possible. And if you want to join in, head on over to patreon.com/Isyander&Koda. For you amazing video enthusiasts, we are also on the road to 10K.
Woo!
That's right. You boys are very close to getting that sweet, sweet wooden plaque.
Right there.
And I want it. I need that wooden YouTube plaque.
I think they got it.
Plaque.
The wooden plaque. We don't have steel yet, but we're going
I
to get
think
the
they
wooden
got
one
it.
for sure.
Okay.
We're going up through the ranks. After wooden, we'll have The stone. With a stone plaque.
Okay, I could arrange for a wood plaque easily. Where the hell do you expect me
The
to
Patreon
find
videos
a
are pretty
stone
good.
plaque?
Guys, will my plaque
We
be
will find a stone
plastic?
plaque, I guess. This
Plastic
is part of
plaque?
my homework now. Yay.
Stone, bronze,
3D print me a
silver.
plaque.
Yeah.
gold.
So if you
Becca?
aren't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's the only language the machine speaks. It's either that or 30-second dance clips. That's about it. That's all the machine speaks. It kind of doesn't like long-form content like this. So if you want to help us keep making this,
I mean, there is a huge difference between 30 seconds and a full hour.
Plastic. Exactly.
I know. Yeah, so if you want to help us keep making this, please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the video, tell a friend. For you amazing audio
friends!
listeners,
I like this
keep
video.
that energy. You guys have been leaving the 5-star reviews. I've been seeing those. You've been subscribing with the auto download. We see those as well. We are aware on Spotify right now we are listed in the wrong section. I'm working with them to get that mended. It is harder than one would think.
Spotify is touchy.
Spotify is touchy. So we are working on that. But for those of you over there, thank you so much for being you. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you sharing the content with other people. It's the only way we're able to grow and keep doing this. So thank you very much. And now, back on topic.
Back on topic. Okay. Also, for us to be back on topic, I don't have a Patreon. You guys always ask that. Every time we share someone's video and they talk about their Patreon, they're like, what about your Patreon? There's no Patreon here. Go support their Patreon. Go support everybody else's Patreon. I don't got a Patreon. No Patreon here. Okay? Okay. Next, you can like, comment, and subscribe on this video too. And on theirs. Go like, comment, subscribe to the original creators always. But here too. Okay. Make a Patreon. For what? Okay. What would I possibly put on Patreon? No. No Patreon. Okay. I do have a sponsor, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Stay around for that tomorrow. Yes. Back to the Grey Knights. Back to the content.
More concerning reason you will never see them is they only care about heretics and chaos. That is it. When they were created at the end of the heresy, the Emperor didn't foresee the Tyranids being a thing, he didn't foresee the Necrons being a thing, he didn't foresee the Eldar ever being relevant.
Thank you for gifting a sub to Patreon. Itadakimasu. Yeah. Crazy work. Okay, you'll never see them because they only care about chaos. They don't care about you. Just chaos.
Being a thing, he didn't foresee the Necrons being a thing, he didn't foresee the Eldar ever being relevant again. He just thought chaos is going to end it all. And to be fair, they're kind of doing that
right now.
So the Grey Knights are singularly focused. It's
dedicated, you may say.
It's one of the things that makes them very unique from the rest
C-worded,
of the
you may
Imperium. Because the rest of the Imperium is really, really equal opportunity. Hence the chant, burn the heretic, kill the mutant, purge the unclean. They'll fight anything, basically.
Yeah.
But I want you to notice that those definitions can be expanded to cover whatever the hell whoever's in charge wants.
They're very open-ended. Yeah.
1,000,000%.
What's a heretic? Who's a heretic?
Who defines unclean? If I'm in charge, it could be anybody named Leroy. Just by default.
Sorry,
the hell
Leroy.
is a mutation? Being less than 7 feet tall?
No, a
Sorry,
mutation is
shorties.
being named a Leroy. No. Mine's Humphrey. I'm sorry to any Humphreys in our fan base, but change your name now, heretic.
Basically, it is one of the biggest reasons behind Imperial bloat, because anybody at any time could be an enemy. It's not well defined at all, kind of on purpose. Again,
That's
it's
how they
supposed to
get
be a
you.
brutal regime that barely works.
Yeah.
Part of that barely works is it's fighting everybody all the time, everywhere.
Yeah, it's part of the machine, the war machine.
Exactly. The Grey Knights actually bought.
Patreon is for poor people, and Sakana is obviously a rogue trader. No, Sakana is a poor person. Thank you. Let's clear the air. Lord drop. Lord drop. Okay.
Part of the machine, the war machine.
Exactly. The Grey Knights actually bother to specify what they're after. It is demons, chaos, and heretics.
Write that down.
That's it. That is period.
Period.
If they bump into, first of all, they actually will not bother being anywhere near anything else. Let's just start there. They're not deployed for anything but that.
Yeah.
So Tyranids could be eating world after world, and Grey Knights will go,
That has nothing to do with me.
That's not what the Emperor made me for.
Sorry.
Tyranids, I sleep.
Pretty much. And that's, I really, this is one of the reasons they grew on me so much. I love the fact that a lot of their strength comes from that singular focus. Because it's kind of what the Ultramarines suffer from, where they're good at everything.
They're spread out too thin.
They're spread out too thin. Poor writers have made them spectacular at everything. But when written properly, they're kind of not the best at any one thing. Grey Knights are really good at this one thing, and it makes them a menace. But they won't show up for anything else, which is one of their biggest problems because, again, the Tyranids are eating so much right now.
Yeah, we kind of need an anti-Tyranid force now instead of an anti-heretic force.
Exactly, but for them, it's real simple. Are you dangerously angry, horny, contagious, or conniving? Get purged. If you're not, carry on.
So if you get a Grey Knight come to visit, you got a silver armor, big bulky figure knocking at your door, hide.
They don't knock.
He wouldn't care about my door. I'm not a heretic in here.
One of my favorite things they do is they'll just teleport.
Oh.
They're such good psychers that they can just teleport places.
They literally hit you with the teleports behind you, nothing personnel, kiddo.
And most people will get to why you shouldn't teleport mid-fight, especially near a demon, but they can do it with ease and gusto. But moral of the story is, if my house is on fire, the Grey Knight's going to walk right past me to get the demon that got it. Like,
They're no salamander.
To them.
Yeah.
They are the epitome of that one quote by Malcolm X, by any means necessary. They will do what it takes to kill a demon, sometimes summoning other demons.
Loyal to a fault.
Oh, yeah. Because, again, chaos is always infighting and bickering. So Grey Knights can take advantage of this and summon one group of demons to fight another.
And just say, demon fight.
If we can't get... Listen, my job is to kill that demon. If the only way to do that is by summoning another demon to break that wall, I will do it.
And then I'll just kill the demon I summoned.
They're partially... This leads to them being written really poorly sometimes, because some people take it too far. Like... Great. It's a problem in 40k where there's this Goldilocks zone of grimdark where it's really bad and it can get way too bad, but it can also just get way too good. You know what I mean? Like Ultramarines have suffered from the way too good spectrum. They've won. There are more named Ultramarines than there are some entire factions models. It's kind of a problem. There are more named Ultramarines than I think Harlequin models. Yeah, it's they've had it too good for too long.
They're the blue boys.
I'm an Ultramarine fan, and I can admit that.
They're just easy to appeal to everybody. They're blue.
On the way too bad spectrum, you have stuff like the Demonculaba, where it's like, oh, great. I'm gonna have a ball of a time explaining this to my friends. Like, no, trust me, 40k is great. Ignore that. Right?
I know nothing about the Demonculaba, and everybody who I ask
I don't know
about
what that
has
is.
hyped it up as just like, this is awful. Don't research it.
Don't research it, which is, yeah. Sometimes the Grey Knights fall into that territory just because, again, they will do what it takes. But it's also in a believable way, if that makes sense.
Don't look
because,
at it.
Again,
okay.
Singularly focused. They only want to do this one thing.
Yeah.
It would make sense that they'd get a bit extreme. Sometimes a bit much. Like, one of my least favorite stories is they're frequently paired with, Sisters of Battle because they're super holy and all that. And again, they're
anti-heretic.
They're another anti-heretic faction. There has been a story where they needed to consecrate weapons and armor in a really quick way.
We're going to learn about this one. Okay. There's a whole video on this one. Let's see what they have to say about it.
So they just drained blood from a Sister of Battle.
They said it's time to get medieval medicinal on this.
Yeah. I'm really boiling down the plot, but yes, two blast weapons in a pinch, they just broke them like a glow stick. And I'm like, that's a bit grim. That's a bit... They're already very grim. That's much.
Dark as well?
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that. It's grim dark.
It's grim dark.
Yeah, it's grim dark. But even, again, it's really hard to top the Demonculaba. That's about the worst the Grey Knights have ever gotten. Beyond that, they tend to stay towards the edge, but that's the fun of them.
Yeah.
They tend to be really bad, but I'm okay with that.
It's like Doomslayer level bad, where it's just like, this is gory and awful, but also hilariously fun.
Oh, yeah. 1,000,000%. I mean, they are, in one of the books, a squad of Grey Knights is sent to kill Angron, and at no point is that a joke. That is a very real possibility.
They just say, go kill him. Get him.
They have set out to kill Angron, and the book treats it like it's possible. And it is.
They can kill a Primarch?
In Angron's most recent rampage, where he broke a planet, they almost got him.
Well, damn.
Yeah, they're very good at this singular task because they'll do whatever it takes.
That's actually impressive.
Right?
Because if
That's
it wasn't
crazy.
for Korn standing up, they would have got him.
Okay, a few other things, but yeah, they baited him into a trap. They almost got him.
Damn.
When they're done
Technically,
right,
but-
it gives them this otherworldly, monstrous feeling.
They big.
I would pay so much money for a horror game where the roles are reversed. Instead of, oh god, I'm a civilian hiding from a demon, it's, I'm a demon and there's a Grey Knight coming.
Wait, that'd be cute. I'd play
Not
it.
even a squad, though a squad would be more terrifying. A single Grey Knight coming.
Just a single.
It would be horrifying. It would be horrifying.
Okay. Games Workshop, here is our pitch. Dead by Daylight. But you're a bunch of demons hiding from a Grey Knight.
Oh, I'd pay money for that. I'd fork over cash for that horror game. They are the antithesis to chaos. There's one of them who's just stranded in the warp right now, and demons just leave him be.
Is he stranded in the warp, or is the warp stranded in there with him?
That's what it feels like. They've even shared in the nickname that the Emperor got from Chaos, which is the Anathema. Because you have to understand, most psychers, when they use a ton of warp powers, it's scary. You have to fortify your mind because demons are waiting to take you over and corrupt you every time you try.
When you use your psychic abilities, they're whispering into your brain, just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you just, like, I don't know, got horny, killed that guy over there, popped a pimple, and I don't know, made a deal with some shady money shark?
That is exactly right. Every psyker, even Space Marine psychers, have to steal their resolve before reaching into the warp to do something. Grey Knights have the gene seed from the Emperor directly. They share in his complete incorruptibility. Not one has ever fallen to chaos. Ever.
They use a psychic
Not one.
ability and they just use it.
Whenever they reach into the warp, demons go, okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's yours now.
It's yours now.
Yeah.
It's fine. You
Nothing
can
to do
have
with
that.
me.
I don't care. I'm not mad. Go wild.
This gives them a unique relationship. They're not borrowing from the warp. It's almost like they're shaping it the way the Emperor does.
They're not borrowing. They
It's-
own the warp.
It's second.
theirs.
It's second nature to them.
That's
It's-
crazy. You know how psychic spells have something like wavelength, and when they send the message to the yes, I'm familiar with this. The current chapter master carved his name into Mortarion's heart. What? Hello? We're just doing that? Angron gets killed all the time to show off how powerful other characters are. Oh. So he's just like, oh, well. This guy's super powerful. He killed Angron. Crazy. If you like XCOM style games, 40k Demon Hunters is a Grey Knights XCOM. Oh, I don't know what an XCOM is.
So cool. I mean, there have been stories where blind and deaf monks have been assaulted by Chaos because Chaos doesn't care if you're disabled. They don't care. I don't know. I don't care what plaque you have in your car. I'm totaling it. Okay? That's how Chaos
care.
operates. And
Okay.
when Grey Knights appeared, they could feel their presence in the warp. As bright,
They
flashing
disrespect
lights.
everyone
they heard
equally.
Doom music start playing.
Exactly. One of the many reasons demons fear them, and again, why they would make great horror movie antagonists, is they have a quiet hum around them.
Not a hum.
Demons specifically can hear a faint choir around them.
That's frightening.
You can just hear faint choral music, and it gets louder the more Grey Knights there are.
They literally do hear the doom music starting.
And if there's a Justicar, which is their version of a commander nearby, he amplifies that.
Oh.
That's hilarious.
And just hearing that alone weakens a demon's grip on reality.
Because just
Really, really, really weak demons will hear that and immediately slip back.
the demons are just going, oh God, oh God, oh God. Not him, not them, not them, not them.
Not even that. They'll just slip back into the warp. Just hearing that for, again, really, really weak demons, immediately gone.
Just poof, gone.
They didn't have a strong grip on the material to begin with. Just a Grey Knight being around was enough.
They're just poof, gone.
Exactly. They can teleport around battlefields because, again, what is the warp going to do to me?
I own it. I shape it. It is mine.
They have a fantastic quote where it's like, what do I have to fear from a demon? They treat it like it's something to be... It's not anything otherworldly to them. It's just something I have to fight.
Second nature.
Each Grey Knight is a holy presence
it's
in
my
themselves.
thing.
Exactly. Most people who would try to battlefield teleport next to a demon would either go stark raving mad, wind up in the wrong place, or just be grabbed by more demons because you're walking through Satan's front lawn.
Of course more demons are going to grab you.
Exactly. They also consistently find and use demons' true names, which is really hard. I didn't know this earlier. I had to find this out when researching them because they're ever changing. Chaos is always moving, so is the warp. So a demon's true name, they spend tons of resources just trying to piece it together because it's ever shifting. But when they do find it, they can banish the hell out of a demon using it.
Because they're just like, hey, Paul, and then the demon just goes, poof.
They've even gotten some of the demon Primarch's true names.
Really?
Yes. And it's not just Angron. It's a very specific...
I was wondering, because
It's
just like...
almost like getting their IP address. It's doxing a demon, basically.
They dox
they've gotten
demons?
them. Again, they're ever changing, so I'm not sure if they still have them. But on that mission, they were like, we're going to go kill Angron. They had that in the back pockets.
I'm just like, just in case.
Not just in case. They'll use it. There's no just in case about it. If I see Angron, I'm sending him back to where he came from.
Yeah.
I love them. They also know words of banishment, of which there are 666 of them.
Of course there are.
Have you noticed a trend yet?
I've noticed a trend.
And just like the true names are ever changing, but these ones are really powerful. Think of it as you could immediately banish a demon using them. You could bind them. You could get them to do something you wanted right then and there. It's a really powerful thing to have over a demon. Pretty much nobody else uses them because if you look at one, your eyes will hollow out and you'll go mad.
Oh.
Even Grey Knights have to brace before they use them. They have to go and then use it. It's really difficult to use these. There's only one Grey Knight who's learned all 666, and he was their first leader, Janus. He was a whole lot. He had like part of a Primarch. There's a lot going on with Janus. He's another episode in and of himself.
He's a big guy in a crowd of big guys.
But he learned all 666 words of banishment.
So you could just look at a demon and say, I don't know, flubber fluff, and it's gone now.
Exactly. And
I know the demon
safe
safe
banishment
word.
weren't enough, and the true names weren't enough, and the whole by any means necessary thing wasn't enough. They also have Necron Tesseract Labyrinths.
They got a hold of those?
By any means necessary.
I mean, fair enough.
My job is to fight demons. If I have to pay that weird robot to help me with it, I'm doing it. It is
fair.
Do you know how easy life is knowing you actually have a divine purpose? Being born and going, God asked me to do this single thing.
I'm going to do it.
And I don't care about whatever it takes to get that.
Is Trazen their back-end dealer?
I don't know how they got them
Hey,
specifically.
Trazen, you got the stuff, I got the cat.
But those labyrinths are actually very effective against demons, not only because it's a pocket labyrinth that would suck to be trapped in, but they also derive energy from your escape attempts. So the stronger you are trying to get out, the stronger the labyrinth's walls are. You're fueling it. Which means, in theory, on paper, if you got Angron in there, he'd never leave because he would never stop trying to
He'd just
escape.
keep bashing the walls with the demon sword he's got.
You just have a box going, ah, at the top of its lungs for eternity. I'm surprised nobody's tried that. But again, I think the biggest problem there is getting close enough. It's really
He's
hard.
going to hit you really hard if you try it.
Even for a Grey Knight, it's kind of hard to get near.
Imagine sticking that in a Honda. D-Tech just kicked in.
Oh, God.
And it's just Angron screaming in the engine bay.
Screaming in the engine bay, yeah. Every single weapon they use, aside from those ones we listed, like their physical weapons, like their guns and their swords, they're force weapons, which means it's a regular sword that's also amplified by how good of a psyker I am. So it's really neat because your basic Grey Knight and your super duper best Grey Knights use the same sword technically, but the Grandmaster sword is a lot stronger. It can cut through demon princes with ease. It's so scary.
With ease?
A normal Grey Knight sword it's still a lot, but it's not that. So it gives them this...
It scales with your faith stat.
Basically, it gives them this very neat feeling of, I started with this weapon, and I will die with this weapon.
Oh, they literally do
Well,
the
that's kinda
whole,
cute.
this is my weapon. There are many like it, but this one is mine routine.
Exactly. All their weapons are, before they even touch...
That's kind of like, you're starting Pokemon and choosing to give it a Forever Stone and not evolving it. And then getting it to level 100. Right? Yes. It's a great sword. It's a great sword. It's a Pokemon. I'm understanding the lore.
touch them. They're some of the best built of all weapons in the Imperium. I think only Custodes have better gear than them. Yeah, their guns are built to a different standard. Then they're shipped over somewhere to be prayed over for a while and blessed in every possible way, because that does actually help if you're fighting demons, and then given to a Grey Knight. Yeah, their bolters have...
Wait, what are they blessed by? How are they blessed?
2 barrels, so they can fire twice the bullets.
They are double barrel?
Oh, yes.
That's insane.
And still full auto.
That's insane.
I couldn't manage the recoil from a single barrel bolter. Imagine double barrel, and they're just firming it.
Well, okay. There's a trend in sci-fi of this weapon. If you fire it, it'll break your arm. Like there's a big Krogan shotgun in Mass Effect. That one's just going to shred your arm off. A stock bolter, you have to hold it with both
Holy
arms
water
and like
and
use your
incense.
entire hand for the trigger.
Not if you're a Grey Knight, they're just mounted to their wrists.
If you're a Grey Knight, you're built different.
Oh, exactly.
Literally.
And all their armor and all their weapons are also carved with those same prayers and purity seals and all that. They have, basically, somebody opened the Holy Book and wrote a good chunk of it onto their weapons and armor, and whatever didn't fit, they ripped those pages out and then stapled them onto. So the Grey Knights have this really cool aesthetic of silvered armor with prayers carved all over it, and massive sheets of paper full of more prayers just wafting off. It's so cool.
I saw that when looking at some of their art. It was just like it was so cool just seeing like the random words printed all over the armor. It's a really cool aesthetic.
I'm telling you, they've grown on me a lot.
Like I already liked Warhammer.
But like, just the fact that it is a prayer is enough to attack the demons? Are they prayers to the Emperor? Are prayers just the antithesis to chaos? I feel like I'm missing something, but I'll keep learning.
It's a really cool
I'm
aesthetic.
telling you, they've grown on me a lot.
Oh, just
Like,
to
I already
believe in a
liked
higher power.
Warhammer's
Got it.
weird aesthetic of let's just strap books all over our armor somewhere, but like the plaques, the bronze and like brass and golden plaques all over the armor, really cool look.
They're fantastically amazing. Again, this is why they'd make great horror movie villains for a demon, because God, I wouldn't want to fight that.
Because to us, those words probably just look like words, but to a demon, it's just a burning fire of like,
Exactly. They're not just close range. They have long range. They can use psychic abilities. They can teleport. They are a lot. And I would still rather get a blood transfusion from Nurgle than see one. Even as a regular person, because this is the last reason you'll never see a Grey Knight. And this one's the Emperor's fault. Because I'm not going to mock him too much because it makes sense. His logic was sound. In 40k, the only way to kill a god, unless you are a god, is to deprive them of worship. No worship, dead. So his logic was, well, if nobody knows about chaos, nobody will worship chaos. Therefore, it'll just starve. He did not realize that chaos is actually kind of orderly and balanced in a way.
It's a bit more complex than if worship God, if no worship, no God.
It is that still, but it's really fundamental and almost it's like the concept of yin and yang. Nurgle specifically is a great representation of that.
Willpower is force.
Sure, he's a god of plague, death, decay, and all that, but everything has to end. That's Nurgle's part. I have to make sure everything ends so that somebody else can build after me. That's his piece. That's all. So what Big E didn't realize is if I hide this from people, it just makes it easier for you to fall to them. Because, okay, cool, you don't know who Khorne is per se, but if you want to be disciplined, fight honorably, and go for good battles,
you're worshiping
inadvertently worshiping him.
Yeah.
And you're not bracing against the consequences of that. For example, I am all for improvement and strategy. Usually, most problems in my life I sort through by thinking and changing accordingly. I would fall for Tzeentch like that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know any better because he never saw fit to tell me, oh yeah, by the way, side effects include tentacles sprouting from everywhere, eyes coming out of nowhere, and he's also the god of stabbing you in the back.
I'm an artsy type, so I would fall to Slaanesh in a second, and then I'd have the strings attached of like, hey, welcome to my weird garden.
Exactly.
We also have tentacles, but they're different from Tzeentch's.
So in his infinite wisdom, the Emperor kind of allowed a lot of the Imperium to fall to chaos easily, and some of his sons to do the same, because they could never prepare. Grey Knights get to prepare.
Got it.
They actually know all of chaos, and
they know about it,
and their will does not, because
guards
the
them
Imperium
against it.
has compounded on this mistake hard. Because Malkador's not around anymore. The Emperor's not around anymore. Most of his kids are not around anymore. Nobody was there to guide this imperial thesis.
They just went by the last orders.
So they went by the last orders and took them to their logical extreme. So now, if you know about chaos, you're shot for it. It's heresy to even mention chaos, which means nobody can ever prepare for it. Ever. And
that's bad.
If you can't prepare for it and you don't know that there's hope against it, you will fall to it every time.
Yeah, because you'll just inadvertently think about like, maybe I should eat oats this morning instead of like a protein bar, and like your self-improvement, and then you accidentally summon Tzeentch into your room.
Exactly. One day you're eating oats, the next you're pouring blood into your cornflakes. It's one of his biggest mistakes that has been fueling chaos for thousands of years. I say this to tell you that Grey Knights will just kill people for seeing them, because they're one of the most tightly guarded secrets, and most people who have been exposed to chaos, again, don't know about it. They'll just fall to it after a while. They've now been tainted.
It's a demon they don't know. So literally a demon they don't know.
They've now been tainted. So if a Grey Knight comes to save you, run, because you're next. If they're there and the demonic incursion is bad enough, because there's not many of them, so if they show up somewhere, it's usually a horrific.
It's bad.
It's horrific. So if they're showing up somewhere, you're already corrupted by chaos. You're gonna fall at some point.
You're done.
So they're not even gonna take the risk. They're just gonna kill you.
And they're gonna kill the demons and turn around and kill you.
And
they're gonna nuke the planet.
Inquisition will kill you for sure. So not many people get to see Grey Knights because not many people live to tell the tale.
Well, some people get to see Grey Knights, but it's the last thing they ever see.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Unfortunately, this relationship with the Inquisition leads to some of their worst writing. Like, for example, there's summoned onto Armageddon to deal with a demonic incursion, and it doesn't even cover the planet like it normally would. It's a small portion. Most people don't know it actually happened. And the Inquisition was like, cool, but you know how we operate, right? Kill everybody on the planet. And the Grey Knights were like, okay.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Again, by any means necessary. Which leads to this story where they're just going to world after world after world, exterminating it for no reason other than they maybe possibly heard about chaos. I'm like, I'd like the Grey Knights to have more autonomy from the Inquisition.
Yeah.
But it's never been that bad since. So.
More nuance.
Who knows?
More
they also
autonomy.
tried to ransack the Space Wolves planet, so that didn't go well for them.
I'm sure Lehman Russ loved that.
Lehman Russ isn't around anymore.
Oh, well.
It's the other guy. But yeah, so that is the only large problem I have with the Grey Knights. They occasionally
They're
get
a little
bit too
dumb.
dark, and they occasionally get treated like the Inquisition's lapdogs.
They're a little too
which
tunnel
is
vision.
lame for how cool they are, but beyond that, they're incredible. They're incredibly fun.
They look cool. They sound cool. They're the Doomslayer they're all collectively the Doomslayer in 40K. I love that.
And more of them, again, because they're psychers, the more of them that are in an area, the stronger they become.
The louder the hum.
I love that.
So a single Grey Knight's bad. A squad is worse. If you ever see all of them assembled, which you should never, but if you do, oh god.
You're screwed.
How many are there?
You're boned.
Yeah.
You are a demon, but you are also Bender looking into the sky going, we're boned.
1,000,000%. Oh, and
I referenced that twice because I love that so much.
Oh yeah. And my favorite thing about the Grey Knights is, like I mentioned, there's one of them rampaging through the warp right now, and if you fall to chaos and you try and summon a demon, there's like a 1 in 100 chance you'll summon a Grey Knight instead. And that's so funny to
crazy.
me. You could just roll a 1 and, oh, there's Grey Knight here now.
Grey Knight. Hello.
Guess I'm dead. Unfortunate.
Whoops.
I almost forgot, and this would have gotten me black
1,000.
bagged if I didn't mention this. So this needs to be said.
Wait.
The Grey Knights are the
If
keepers.
there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that you summon a Grey Knight instead of a demon, when the Grey Knights are trying to summon other demons to kill the demons that they were first trying to kill, could they also summon a Grey Knight? And then does he go back? What's he do? Hey, brother. Thanks. Bye. We'll never know.
Of something called the Terminus Decree.
The Terminus Decree.
Yes, it is the final secret of their chapter, and it is something that will either save the Imperium in its darkest hour or destroy it from the foundations. Yeah.
That is the world's most important loot box.
Oh, 1,000,000%. It's buried in the tomb of Malkador, and it's a simple wooden box with a seal that contains instructions. Only the head honcho of the Grey Knights knows how to open that box, and he's currently in the warp cosplaying as Doom Guy. Basically. And nobody else knows.
Oh, we know what's in it now?
Nobody knows how to. Nobody else knows how to open the
Theoretically.
box, and only one person knows what those instructions actually are, and it's the Emperor himself.
Of course, it's the Emperor himself.
Okay, here's a spoiler alert. Whenever there's only one person who knows something, it's the Emperor.
It's the Emperor.
He sees all. He sees all.
Yes. He's basically a chaos god at this point. I get it.
Exactly. But the only clue that we do have as to what's on that little, or what's in that box, is the seal holding it shut. Because that seal does not exist anywhere else in the Imperium except for on Earth itself. For on the Golden Throne is an exact 1-of-1 replica of that seal. Or match, I should say, of that seal.
What, does he have the signet ring for the seal?
It's
Or
not
does he just
1-on-1.
have the same
It's
seal?
a seal somewhere. In 40k, seals are kind of loose. It could be an actual seal.
Wax seal.
It could be an actual
A
wax seal.
sticker?
It could be a more magical seal, you know?
Or
Moral
it
of
could
the
be
story-
a literal seal.
I doubt it's literally seal.
Flopping on an iceberg going...
I doubt it's a literal seal, but who knows?
I
Moral
don't
of the
think
story
it's that kind of seal. Thank you for the follow, Kiba. And thank you for the resub, AJ. Itadakimasu. Hi, AJ. the Emperor has a seal. The Emperor has stickers, and he has a super secret sticker that's on the box that you've never seen before, except for also on his throne.
It's important enough to be right there with the Emperor, so it's something
Favorite
in that
sticker.
box.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you that I really barely needed to be their state-mandated hype man. The Grey Knights have all the hype they
They're
need.
so hype. They barely
They're
need
huge.
a hype man.
Oh yeah. 1,000,000%. They barely need hype men. But as if all that wasn't enough, they are also the only Space Marines that give Custodes a second to pause. And in some cases, outright jealousy.
Making the Custodes jealous?
Yeah. Because the Custodes were the Emperor's finest works. Literally made by hand by him. Better than Space Marines in every way. They were built not only to wage war like the Space Marines, but to rule effectively afterwards. Every Custodes is a trained marksman, swordsman, and general, while also being an expressive poet, a luminary artist, and writers capable of penning sagas.
Wonderful. We love ourselves a
Cute.
good battle bard.
Exactly.
STEM in the
Custodes were
arts,
who
STEM in the arts.
Emperor confided in. Custodes were his end vision. They were warriors to usher in a blindingly bright future and the guardians to keep it that way.
They were his literal golden boys.
They answer to nobody but the Emperor, and they only know him as their progenitor. So you can imagine, when the Emperor was at his lowest moments, caused by the irrationality and weaknesses of Space Marines, it would leave some Custodes a little infuriated that his solution was to refine the Space Marines further, instead of leaning on what he already has.
I can see that as being a little bit upset. If you're the golden boys and suddenly your dad creates the silver boys and actually says the silver boys are better than you.
Exactly. He created Space Marines that directly tie to him in the same way that only the Custodes and Primarchs do. And yet, they're just as close as they are. Custodes have spent thousands of years getting this close to the Emperor, and then Grey Knights popped out and they were just there. It's like when you have a little brother and suddenly they start hogging all the attention. You're like, what?
Where did you come from?
Where
do you think you own the place?
Exactly.
The Custodes are the older brothers, and then the new Grey Knights were born, and the Custodes got jealous that they're getting all of Dad's attention, and they're being written into the will. Oh my gosh. Crazy. The Grey Knights and the Custodes don't like each other. They're not friends. Wow. If you gave him, like, I don't know, another 10,000 years, you could have made the Bronze Knights. Okay? The Bronze Boys.
Get out.
This rubs some Custodes the wrong way, but others have different concerns because they worry, what if I'm not the vision for the future like I always thought?
Ooh, meta.
Because the Emperor did have, we're going to cover this when we inevitably do an Emperor 20-part episode, because I'm not joking, he has 100 books to his name easily.
He's big.
He's Big E.
He's big.
Yes. But the Emperor has had other warriors before that all mysteriously when their time was up. So what if the Custodes were not the bright future they envisioned, and instead it was the Grey Knights? They were his last design. What if they're really the truest glimpse into what he saw coming?
I can see where a little bit of their upset and paranoia comes from.
Of course, no Custodes will ever voice these opinions.
No,
ever, and it
it'd
will
be heresy.
Not even heresy. Custodes know almost better than anybody else in the Imperium what they truly are. I love this so much. We're going to cover this more when you do a Custodes episode, but they lament what the Imperium has become because they knew what they were fighting for originally. They knew about the Emperor's original goal, and they now know that it will never come to pass.
Yeah, because the Imperium at this point is in such a state.
But they still do their jobs. So even though they may feel this way, they do not let it affect how they do their job.
They just do it.
And also, don't the Grey Knights, like, respond directly to the Imperium? So because the Custodes know more than the Imperium and they see the Grey Knights following the Imperium's every whim, they would be upset at that too because they don't really know what Dad wants. Only I know. Only I know him the way I do. You guys don't know him. You don't know who he was before the chair. Thank you for watering the chat, Leor. Everybody drink up.
It's why the Emperor relied on them. It's why they are his bodyguards. Because they will just firm it. It doesn't matter how I feel. I will do it.
Because this is what I have to. This is what I have.
Forever. So they'll never voice these opinions, and it doesn't change how they do their jobs at all. However, just because they have weird feelings does not mean that they're equal in any way, shape, or form. A single Custodes versus a Grey Knight is a beatdown. It is not even close. Custodes are truly fighters without equal.
They're huge.
They're beyond huge. They could.
So why are we insecure, guys? You guys are great.
Guardsman sees when a Space Marine is just mobbing through enemies is what a Space Marine sees when a Custodes appears.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they can fight off an entire squad of Space Marines with relative ease.
That's scary.
Yes.
They really are big.
Grey Knights do not stand a chance against Custodes, but if there ever was a Space Marine that would get close, it would be the Grey Knights. Because now, granted,
there
this
you
is
go.
Grey Knights in their element fighting demons, but they were able to keep up. A squad of them was able to keep up with one Custodes. Which, again, a whole squad of them doing their very best at what they were made to do could almost keep up with the Custodes.
The Custodes is still...
Again, I don't even, you know what? I'd like to table my previous suggestion. I want a Custodes horror game with a Sister of Silence. I would love to play a...
Oh, so if the Custodes had psyker powers from the Emperor, then they wouldn't be jealous.
a Psyker and one Custodes somewhere. Just one. That's all I need. It'd be unwinnable, but it'd be fun.
It'd be fun to just run away. You're playing Temple Run, but like instead of being chased by those weird ape creatures, it's a Sister of Silence and a Custodes.
You couldn't run. There's no hope. You're not ever, physically speaking, you cannot beat a Custodes at anything.
You can try your best.
It doesn't matter.
You can beat them at losing.
Nope. Doesn't matter. Will not change a thing.
The indomitable human spirit.
Farting into a hurricane doesn't accomplish a thing. Except now I smell worse. That's it. Custodes are horrifying. But to give Grey Knights some flowers back, they are unmatched psychers.
They're big.
They are very big. I'm not sure what would happen to a Grey Knight near a Sister of Silence. It's a very good question, because they are the best psychers the Imperium has. But Sisters of Silence are kind of the anathema to them.
They're blanks.
So
blanks are blanks.
I need to do more reading into that, honestly. But that is where those two stand. That had to be touched on because it's such a fun family dynamic. And now, while the amazing names of our Patreon dazzle your eyes, and for those of you listening, just imagine the coolest people you can think of squared. And let's do our foreign fracas.
Or international incident. It's a working title.
Crazy. Okay, so... Okay, they're jealous that... Okay, the Custodes are jealous that the Grey Knights have the psychic powers from the Emperor, but they have the strength and the power, okay? So this is where a therapist comes in, right? We do some cognitive reframing for the Custodes. We tell them, guys, you got it all. Dad gave you everything. The brains, the brawn, the sensitivity. He just didn't give you the psyker powers. You don't need those psyker powers. You can step on a Grey Knight, okay? He still loves you. Like, I don't know, I would frame it as not to feel inferior by the Grey Knights, but to be like, oh, Dad sent me something to make my job easier. The Grey Knights can kill all those other things and make me focus on other things while they focus on their little heresy and all of that. He just gave me an advantage. Thanks, Dad. See, positive reframing, guys. Custodes, hire me. Hire me. Sister of Silence wins a 1v1 against a Grey Knight every single time. The Grey Knights and the Custodes both have the unique position of having no actual master. Technically, the Grey Knights can be ordered by an Inquisitor. They can also ignore that order. Isn't that heretical? He's called the Ferryman. The Grey Knights have a very odd person who's a retired Grey Knight who was turned into a blank somehow. Oh. Okay. We got an overview of them. And we got a sneak peek into one of the things. I wonder if this is going to talk about it too. Okay. So this one is fairly new, the 5 Unsolved Grey Knight lore mysteries. We're still going to go into the darkest story that was retcon, the Blood Tide. So that was from 2022. This doesn't talk about the Blood Tide, right? Okay. So I know Isyander&Koda talked about the Blood Tide a little bit. And then we're going to go here. I have no expectations for this. Because I've never reacted to them, so I have no idea what's coming. But yeah. Okay. So, what do my notes say?
Oh my god, you're huge!
In fairness, there are Space Marine librarians out there that can go toe-to-toe with a Grey Knight's psychic abilities.
Oh.
Mephiston, the chief librarian of the Blood Angels, is on a level that I'm sure the Grey Knights are still kicking themselves for somehow missing before he became a Blood Angels.
Thank you for that, Grand Tourist. Sister versus Grey Knight is a bloodstain on the floor after the Grey Knight kills her. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Oh my gosh, Dark End, thank you for the 20 gifted on YouTube. That's crazy. Thank you. That's so nice. Did we get anybody in chat right now? Show yourselves if we got you. Show yourselves. Hi, Darken. Welcome in. A Twitch ad is about to start. That's why I am taking my time. He is easily as powerful as the Grandmaster of the Grey Knights. Mephiston. Oh. Blood Angels. Okay, that's something to look for in the Blood Angels. Sisters of Silence are good enough to beat regular Space Marines in a 1v1. Grey Knights would have their psychic powers so effed up they'd be an even easier fight. Oh. Mephiston's absolutely effing cracked. Good to know. Good to know that he's cracked and stacked and jacked. Somebody did a video on like the strongest people. Was that Ian who did a video on the strongest people in 40k? Like the strongest characters in 40k? I was looking into that, but I feel like we should learn more about different dudes first, and then we can learn about the altogether strongest dudes. Yeah. Not the Supreme Grandmaster, not the guy stuck at the warp. That dude made Mortarion a Primarch his B-word on his own turf. He's just that guy. He's just like... Wait, he's not? What is he? Wait. The Chief Librarian. He's not the Grandmaster. He's just the Chief Librarian. Unfortunately, Grey Knight versus Sister of Silence is effectively a standard Space Marine versus a regular woman. Oh. She's more than a regular woman. She's so much more. We can always agree that there is someone more powerful in Warhammer. Except the Emperor, I guess. You didn't hear anything. Ooh. There's always a bigger fish, except for me. I am the biggest fish. And I'll always be the biggest fish. Lead you into the pond, I'll lead you into the ocean. I will lead you there. I'm a Grey Knight fanboy, and even I would say the Sisters of Silence very least could be equal with the muted Grey Knight.
Today.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Let us get into the 5 unsolved Grey Knight lore mysteries.
The Warhammer 40k galaxy is absolutely filled to the brim with uncountable mysteries and dark tales that would make even the hardiest inquisitor shake in his boots. From demonic psychers mind-controlling whole sectors of the galaxy, entire populations of billions of people disappearing in a single night, or even sentient suns that pulse with.
For a spooky night, Weshammer's multiple vids of creepiest mysteries and 40k are very good. Okay, I'm not good at scary though, so... I don't know, maybe Halloween. Weshammer, we're coming back to you for Halloween. Thank you for the super. We will escort you through it. Okay, you can escort me through the scary video, but who's gonna stay with me and have a sleepover at night when I can't sleep because I'm worried about the creepiest 40k mysteries coming out of under my bed and trying to kill me? Huh? Which one of you is gonna do that? Yay, sleepover. No! That's not what I'm saying! Big E will do it. I got you. Okay, okay. Cool. You guys are designated fish sitters. You can call me and I'll yap for 2 hours so you fall asleep. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Now I will yap and you guys can fall asleep and watch the VOD.
With malevolent energies, calling fleets of dying ships lost in the warp to its burning embrace. 40k is a crazy place. Other tales can be much smaller in scale, yet be so horrifying that they break reality in twain if retold. With the release of the new 10th edition Grey Knights Codex, Games Workshop has suddenly started telling us that this ancient chapter of demon-fighting heroes, once built by Malkador the hero himself, is dying. New mysteries have unfolded on Titan, dangers thought long ago secured have started to stir once again, and with the Cicatrix Maledictum splitting the galaxy in half, the Brotherhood of the Grey Knights has fallen below half strength. In today's video, we are going to take a look at 5 brand new mysteries that the Grey Knights have received in their most recent update, and see if—
Okay, so this is new! This is new! Great. I don't know if you know what the Sisters of Battle are, but the Sisters of Silence are to the Sisters of Battle what the Custodians are to the Space Marines. I know what the Sisters of Battles are, but I don't think we dove into the Sisters of Silence. So, given that analogy, we should dive into the Sisters of Silence. Recommend Sisters of Silence videos below, or in the comments, or on the Discord. I have a 20-hour lore video for you. I said I would respond to the Remembrancers 20-hour Space Marine chapters video as like a subathon goal. Okay, I'll do it. Don't think I won't. Just gotta pay me, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
If we can understand what has really been happening to them. How did thousands of diseased Grey Knight brothers disappear in a single night? Are the Grey Knights making a new kind of possessed space marine? Or are they scamming demons now for knowledge and power? Are the Grandmasters of the chapter really considering teleporting Titan away from the rest of the Imperium? And now that we know what the Terminus decree is, are the Grey Knights finally going to use their Side Titans from the Ordo Sinister? Because yeah, I'm not kidding, apparently they got those now. Most of today's deep dive has been sourced from the new 10th edition Grey Knights Codex, in combination with cross-referencing and comparing with the 7th and 8th edition codexes, and multiple excerpts from the Horus Heresy novel series. All that and a whole lot more in today's lore video. Let's get into the brand new 5 spooky Grey Knight mysteries. Spooky! Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future.
He did say they were spooky in the title.
Before we get into the mysteries themselves, there have actually been a bunch of updates to the Grey Knights lore that I need to cover first, so we can properly understand what is going on with this chapter and why there have been so many new mysteries popping up all of a sudden. Some of the lore updates are quite insane. The Grey Knights can even cure chaos corruption now. There are few brotherhoods within the Adeptus Astartes, more secret—
They can cure corruption? So why are they killing everybody if they can cure corruption? What? Hello? That's huge.
Secretive and important than the Grey Knights. These demon hunters are counted among mankind's greatest secret weapons, but they are also far more than just a weapon. The Imperial Guard are the Emperor's hammer, the Space Marine are his Angels of Death, the bulwark against terror. But the warriors of the Grey Knights are the Emperor's last gift to humanity, created right before he was interred upon the Golden Throne after defeating the Archtraitor Horus in single combat. The Horus Heresy, where half of the Emperor's sons turned against the Imperium and burned the galaxy in the name of the Chaos Gods, had left the Imperium a shadow of its former glory. Still, neither the Emperor nor Malkador the hero would let their great work die out in the millennia to come. During the War in the Webway, the greatest warriors of the Imperium, from the Legio Custodes, Silent Sisterhood and Martian Mechanicum, all died facing endless hordes of demons. Only with the Emperor's direct intervention was this gruesome war won at all. But the Emperor knew he could not wage war against the unending legions of chaos by himself. So it is believed that the Grey Knights were authorized to be formed, and with the help of his most trusted advisor, Malkador the hero, they were assembled. The Grey Knights gene seed does not come from any individual Primarch. Instead, it originates from the Emperor's own genetics, himself, which, alongside the Moon of Titan, the Forge Moon of Deimos, a large array of unique equipment and esoteric knowledge, together form what we call the Emperor's Gift. To elevate them above the more common Space Marine chapters, the Grey Knights possess extra organs not shared with other genetic lineages. Yeah, not even Primaris Marines. Instead of just the
More
normal implantation
organs?
process, there are also many supernatural procedures and rituals required to finish a Grey Knight recruit, going far beyond what even the most veteran of Space Marine librarians would normally go through. Yet how has the Emperor's gift benefited the Imperium? Have the Grey Knights done more harm to the Imperium than good? Because if you didn't know, if you, a normal citizen, even had a chance to see them, your entire planet is doomed to exterminatus to keep the chapter a secret. And more importantly, are the Grey Knights still fulfilling their duty as the Imperium's apex demon hunters? Or have they changed their duties over time? Well, let's take a look at what their remaining brotherhoods are up to. As with many things in the modern Imperium, the fall of Cadia proved devastating for the Grey Knights. Entire brotherhoods and multiple grandmasters have gone missing, and some are believed to be dead. With more than ever demons roaming the material universe, the Grey Knights are pushed to their utter limit more than any other force within the Imperium. But for all their martial valor and powerful psychic abilities, the Grey Knights maintain many secrets. From their nemesis dreadknights to battleships, the Grey Knights have started to make use of forbidden Xenos technologies, weapons made from Necron Blackstone, Wraithbone cores in their ships, and even darker materials are harnessed to save humanity. The galaxy has turned so dangerous that the chapter's paladins, the most elite warriors of their organization, have started to join their brothers on more battlefronts than ever before. Inquisitorial forces, from stormtroopers to well-connected Astartes chapters, such as the Red Hunters, Black Inculpators, and Exorcists, who debatedly might even be a successor chapter of the Grey Knights, depending on which source you follow, join the Grey Knights on many missions, even if they do not fully understand the esoteric goals of the Knights of Titan. On some worlds, like Bloodstained Armageddon, the Grey Knights have been forced to use false prophetic visions to trick the likes of Logan Grimnar and High Marshal Helbrecht to face endless cultist and demonic hordes, so that the Grey Knights might banish Angron once again. In the eternal meat grinder that is mankind's survival, the Grey Knights are more important than ever before. But how much longer can they endure? At the chapter's height, it possessed 1,000 battle brothers across
1,000 at the height.
But with the Great Rift having stolen much of the chapter's strength, they numbered only a few hundred warriors across the entire galaxy. In response, the chapter has been forced to send forth all of its dreadnoughts. Not a single one of these powerful frames remains in reserve, which has resulted in wise warriors who might have been alive for millennia now, instead being lost forever. Their Mechanicus allies on the moon of Deimos work tirelessly to produce more dreadnoughts and weapons, but even they cannot keep up with the ever-growing demands of new esoteric wargear. Apothecaries and their paladin bodyguards work hard to save every piece of precious gene seed they can. In the darkest scenarios, these same apothecaries even use their psychic abilities, psi-enhanced healing bombs, and blessed potions to save a battle brother from warp corruption. With these tools, an apothecary can purge the most foul diseases of Nurgle, remutate curses of Tzeentch, cleanse Scorn's baleful rage, or even scrub Slaanesha's blissful influences from a battle brother the chapter cannot afford to lose.
Save your brother!
You heard that right. The Grey Knights can now officially purge Chaos corruption if they arrive in time to stem the corruption itself. But these tools are also a complete secret and are far too valuable to be shared with the rest of the Imperium.
That's why they can't save everyone.
In such dark times, however, one must ask where Kaldor Drago is. You know, the Supreme Grandmaster of the Grey Knights, their greatest warrior and commander. And with the warp's grip on reality being as strong as it is, it should allow Drago to be more active than ever.
Where you at,
Sadly,
Drago?
Kaldor Drago is still often absent. Many hundreds of brothers have tried to unbind his curse to no avail. And with his prolonged absence, they have decided that soon a new Supreme Grandmaster has to be chosen. Without an inspiring leader at the head of their armies, the Grey Knights will continue to suffer. Potential victories turned into horrible defeats, with no leader to right their wrongs. The future of the Grey Knights has grown dark. To make matters worse, recruitment of the Grey Knights has become only more difficult as time passes on. The Master of Recruits dedicates much of his time to healing the Grey Knights' numbers alongside his company of gatherers. But even he knows that soon it will not be enough. This realization has led to the Grey Knights putting more pressure on the Black Ships, stealing recruits from other Space Marine chapters, and even at times killing fellow Imperials if they stand in the way of a new potential recruit. And those are all the main Grey Knight lore updates, besides the 5 insane mysteries we are going to now cover.
Oh, that was just the
with
overview.
mystery number 1.
Number
the
1.
dead fields are empty. The dead are gone.
Huh? The dead fields are empty. What do you mean? This is like the
For a
cemeteries?
Grey Knight to die, which, with their job as demon hunters, happens all the time, and their body is preservable and gene seed can be removed after expiration of the brother, then he may be taken home to Titan and be buried in the dead fields. Once upon a time, these fields were massive. Each Grey Knight was buried with the funeral rites of a king, every mausoleum unique and designed to honor that specific brother. Yet as time passed on, after much debate by the chapter's chaplains, it was decided that this practice had to end. The Grey Knights were to be buried as brothers, each equal to the other, in their graves right next to each other. This decision was made to ensure the spiritual health and purity of the chapter. The chaplains feared that the old practice would lead to arrogance and pride. It would be a small gesture, but it could cause loyal servants to fall into their own hubris and empower the gods of chaos. Even with this change, every Grey Knight still wishes to be buried in the dead fields. Today, the dead fields are consecrated crypts to lay honored warriors to rest. Before a battle brother is interred, his body is cleansed, and the 666 words of sanctity are inscribed upon his skin. His armor and weapons are returned to the chapter's armory, though the heraldry of the fallen Grey Knight is often etched onto them in recognition of his deeds. All too often, however, a battle brother's body is lost forever to the tides of war and cannot be set in its rightful place in the dead fields. If the body is not available, then the warrior's name will be recorded in honor on the chamber's great basalt wall of remembrance, there to echo through eternity, alongside the very greatest of the chapter's heroes. So the chapter has honored its fallen warriors for millennia, yet in the wake of the Noctis Eterna, where the Cicatrix Maledictum cut the galaxy in half, the strangest tragedy ever has befallen the chapter. In a single night, all remains, skeletons, names and relics held within the dead fields vanished without a trace. There was not a single witness,
all of
and it
them,
has left the
every
entire
single one,
chapter deeply disquieted. But what makes this so significant? The gene seed of these fallen warriors has already been reclaimed.
Yeah, the gene
so
seed's
surely
gone.
the bones and corpses of the Grey Knights
Why are we stealing
going
their
missing
bodies?
is only an insult to the honor of the chapter and
Yeah.
not a threat to the Imperium, right?
Right?
Unfortunately, there is another layer to this mystery that makes it rather horrifying, and it is best explained with an excerpt from the novel Emperor's
I need to play
Gift,
Space Marine
where
1.
we see the Grey Knight, known as Hyperion, interact with those who tend the dead fields. While the entire squad grieved for their fallen battle brother, it had become Hyperion's responsibility to deal with the ferryman. Yet when he saw the ferryman, he almost fell
ferryman,
out of
someone
sync
mentioned
with
him.
his squad, still carrying the coffin of their brother. When he tried to reach out to the mind of the ferryman, he only felt a shadow in the warp, a man without a soul. They lowered their brother's coffin onto the hangar deck. Traditional words filtered back into Hyperion's mind, recalled through the discomfort of standing before the soulless figure. Looking at him made Hyperion's lips peel back from its teeth, and his sixth sense closed in a snap of loss, as if he'd suddenly been struck blind. The Inquisition made use of psychic nulls, mortals casting no soul echo in the warp, as an
The first Space Marine game was so much fun. Should I play it, guys? I don't have that one. I only have the second one. But I am enjoying the second one. And I know AJ told me that I should play the first one before I played the second one. And I was too excited to play the second one because I had it already. The first one was very good too. If you guys want to see me play the first one, maybe I can play the first one. Maybe I'll think about getting the first one. But yeah, sorry to sidetracked, but we were talking about Space Marine in the chat. This is hella sinister when you found out. Wait, you know about it, AJ? What the heck? Okay. We're gonna find out why stealing the bodies is bad.
Made use of psychic nulls, mortals casting no soul echo in the warp, as anathema to all psychic activity in their proximity. Such creatures were useful as weapons, in their own servile, incorruptible ways. But it took effort to just stand near a hollow man. Hyperion wondered how he was even alive.
It really does take effort to stand near a hollow man. Continue.
To just stand near a hollow man. Hyperion wondered how he was even alive and what genetic aberration allowed him to be born. Outwardly, he was one of the Grey Knights. His bulky physique was unarguably the result of the Adeptus Astartes genetic enhancement. Yet he stood unarmed and unarmored, clad only in the patchwork grey robe that had clearly seen better years. Eyes of unremarkable blue watched each of Hyperion's squad in turn, before resting on the coffin they carried, until he lowered his shaved head in a nod of greeting. Who speaks for the fallen? Hyperion's revulsion got the better of him. What are you? Focus! Dumenidon hissed. Hyperion cleared his throat, forcing himself to look at the figure. Hyperion of Castion speaks for the fallen. Who bears our slain to the dead fields? Plagias of Titan will bear your slain to the dead fields. Present the sigillite symbol. The squad raised their left hands, showing the black symbol acid etched into the silver of their countless palms. All of them bore the same tattoo inked into the flesh of their hands beneath. We present the sigil of Malkador. The ferryman nodded a second time. Speak the name of the fallen, and the words to be engraved in memoriam. Hyperion considered trying to reach Mal, but Plagia's presence stole all hope of that. He couldn't sense anything outside his own skull. Hyperion had been chosen to speak. The responsibility of answering fell to him. Sotis of Castion, Knight of the Eighth Brotherhood, valiant to the last, revered by his brothers in life, remembered for the lessons taught by his dead. It will be so. Hyperion did not want to leave his brother's remains in the aberration's care. When a Grey Knight died, the ferryman cleansed and buried them, a tradition that had existed since the chapter's founding. Hyperion hated Pelgaras of Titan, but he also asked if he was once one of them. He did not get an answer. The Dead Fields lie within the fortress monastery of the Grey Knights. You know, the massive fortress of a Space Marine chapter, some of the safest places in the entire galaxy. On top of this, it is nearly impossible to reach Titan. Approaching the solar system is an all but near impossible task for any enemy. The fortress of the Grey Knights itself is further protected by human serfs, the Inquisition, Grey Knight purifiers, and an entire cadre of the Librarius, with the Dead Fields specifically being guarded by the pariah ferryman. So, how did all of this happen? How did these corpses, remains, and relics disappear? It couldn't have been a demon, as many blanks are working the fields. Was it someone inside our chapter itself, betraying the Brotherhood to give the bones of his fallen brothers to demons?
No one would ever.
There's no freaking way. Well, with how loyal and how often these brothers are checked for corruption, that is also very unlikely. This I know they're loyal. Theory, but I believe the Legion of the Damned may have something to do with this. Just think about it. Who could walk upon any Imperial planet, take something from under the nose of dozens of psychic blanks, and then disappear in a single night, carrying every bone, corpse, and relic from an entire chapter? Maybe it was the Legion of the Damned, or maybe it was someone from our second mystery. The demons that the Grey Knights have started using in both battle and research. In a way, making their own possessed, loyalist demons. Who are the Grey Knight demons? Why did they start doing this? And what are they used for?
Grey Knight pet demons? The Grey Knights have pet demons?
With the Grey Knights on the back foot, their librarians have begun to ritually barter the souls of unfortunate humans with demonic entities. In return, the Grey Knights are offered the true names of demons to be added to the Liber Demonica with which to battle other demons. Yeah, The Grey Knights are bartering loyal souls in return for knowledge. But isn't this incredibly heretical? Even if it is, in the long term, this trait enables the Grey Knights to keep combating demons. And to make it slightly more palatable, these deals are more one-sided than they seem. Instead of actually getting the soul to devour, the demons are lured in, bound and warded into empty mortal shells the moment they approach too close. From these cages of flesh and blood, the captured demons are used in battle, often against their own kind. Caged demons and other warp entities can be turned into possessed warriors to enact a bloody vengeance on the ruinous powers.
Pet
or, as
demons.
we see with Eisenhorn, turned into a demon host as a beacon of psychic focus and knowledge. It is also through this method that the Grey Knights hope to permanently bind and entrap the demon, making it so that, in theory, the demon is forever trapped and can never harm humanity again. Although seen as weapons of last resort, these esoteric rituals are one of the many ways the Grey Knights continue their desperate struggle to defend humanity. In a certain sense, the Grey Knights are making loyalists possessed. While they use demons for this, it is also stated that other warp entities are also often used. Could this mean that perhaps something like the Legion of the Damned can be given mortal bodies to control, like the Galverbach? Or more importantly, is this connected to the dead fields being found empty? What if the chapter's librarians have stolen these corpses to turn them into living weapons to combat the endless legions of the warp?
Whoa!
In any case, this new piece of lore opens up a lot of doors. From a
Okay, so he's saying, what if it's actually the Grey Knights librarians who took all of the corpses to reanimate them and use them to fight the demons? AJ, what the heck was that? I saw that pop up. What was that, AJ? AJ, thank you for gifting me Space Marine 1. Guys, AJ just gifted us Space Marine 1. I guess we're gonna play Space Marine 1. Yay! Oh no. Add that to the list of things to play. Does Space Marine 1 have the same kind of multiplayer stuff that Space Marine 2 does? Or is Space Marine 1 more so for the campaign? It does, but it's dead. Got it. So I should do Space Marine 1 for the campaign and then come back to Space Marine 2 for the multiplayer. Heard! Okay, that makes things easier. Got it. Okay. Got it. Well, now we get to see a big Titan and Blood Ravens. Campaign and multiplayer are separate in season. Got it. Okay. Sorry for the sidebar. Thank you, AJ. I didn't buy you the updated version because it sucks. Heard and listened to, AJ. I will take whatever you have given me. Thank you. It's so nice. Okay. Anyways, this guy's theory is that the Grey Knight librarians are reanimating the Grey Knight corpses to use them to fight against demons. Bossman stole the bones. Yes. Continue.
Imperial demons, Grey Knights Legion of the Damned-like brothers, to just loyalist possessed. It might even end up with a big inquisitorial civil war, as tensions between the Inquisition and Grey Knights have been rising in recent events, with the Inquisitors being blamed for the disappearance of Grandmaster Kovan Leorak. Talking about the Inquisition, Malkador made both the Inquisition and the Grey Knights to keep an eye on humanity. But in the meantime, to keep the chapter and its secrets safe, he built a great warp nexus that can make entire planets vanish without explanation. So let's take a look at mystery number 3. Have the Grey Knights figured out how to use the warp nexus? And what are they gonna use it for?
Have they figured out how to work the Death Star?
With the Emperor's gift came many wondrous and forbidden technologies, but perhaps the most important of them all is the Warp Nexus. Hidden deep within the Grey Knight Citadel upon Titan, the Warp Nexus moved the moon of Saturn entirely out of real space so it could be hidden within the warp. While the secrets to this type of technology have been lost or carefully hidden, the Warp Nexus is still maintained by the chapter's tech marines. A chorus of trolls chant endless incantations to the machine spirits of the device, so that should Titan ever be threatened, it could once again hide within the warp. During the time that Titan was hidden in the warp, the founders of the Grey Knights chapter spent their time recruiting and training the first ever generation of Grey Knights to prepare them for the fight against endless hordes of demons, in hopes of keeping the—
What?
Sold 5 new sushi rolls.
Dreadnought, thank you for the 5 gifties. Itadakimasu. Bro, I beg you, please react to the Raptors by JJ Case. Okay, well, I put up a freaking poll asking what we should react to. Please leave that as a comment to the video, not just in chat, so that I can see that and add it to the list. We are starting a list. Raptors. I feel like I was going to react to the Raptors. What happened? Well, when I was reacting to the sharks, the Raptors were also a successor, or I guess the sharks aren't confirmed a successor, but the Raptors are successors of the Raven Guard, right? Yeah. So I guess they just didn't fit, but we can go back to them. I love being a beaky, okay? So we can learn about the Raptors. Up on the list, we got the Black Templars. Right now, we're doing the Grey Knights. Some of you love to hate and hate to love the Ultramarines, which, I mean, we're doing more Space Marine content, so maybe we don't need an Ultramarine video. But yeah. Send me the suggestions and recommendations in a way that I can see after the stream. So on a comment or in the Discord or on the poll. Thank you. And also, again, thank you, Dreadnought. Dreadnought, did you know that you're in the warp? Have you seen the Astartes videos yet? They're like a bunch of short animation clips. I have not yet. Don't worry, it's coming up. You're in the warp, Dreadnought.
To prepare them for the fight against endless hordes of demons.
Add
In
it to
hopes
the
of
list.
keeping the Warp Nexus working, the Grey Knights have also taken a portion of Malkador the Hero's ashes, mixed with powdered silver
What?
and brimstone, to create a powerful protective ward around the Warp Nexus. The ward remains active,
They took
emitting
Uncle
a sharp
Malky's
tan of
ashes?
ozone, glowing with malevolence. To the Grey Knights, Malkador the Hero is held in high esteem, deep within the Citadel of Titan. The Terminators of the First Brotherhood guard—
Wait. Astartes. The animation. I think I did watch that. Wait. Hold on. I did watch Astartes, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I watched it. I did. Don't worry. Don't worry. We watched that in one of the React videos. Frick. It wasn't the sharks. Was it the one after the sharks? Yeah, I saw it. Okay. Sorry. Yes, with the orb, the psyker. I did also watch Secret Level. I saw Titus. I knew it was Titus because I played Space Marine 2 and I'm so involved. Yeah, look, I'm so smart. I saw him and I was like, is that Titus? I didn't just see a blueberry and go, oh my god, is that Titus? I saw his laurels too. And then you guys told me that literally everybody has laurels. So I was like, well, frick. At least I was right. Hammer and Bolter, yes, suit. I know you recommended that. Thank you. Okay. We're learning.
the tomb of Malkador. Reduced to ashes, the Grey Knights remembered him for his involvement in the creation of their chapter and for his sacrifice upon the Golden Throne. The Warp Nexus is not the only strange piece of technology used in the creation of the Grey Knights. When Malkador had 9 chosen Space Marine legends ready to create new weapons with which to fight chaos, one would refuse him after seeing the Eldar Webway portal. Loken had served as a Luna Wolf, a son of Horus, the gatekeeper Cerberus, and a knight errant, but he would not serve as a Grey Knight if it meant he had to use Xenos technology. Not only do we get to see Malkador create the Grey Knights, we also get to see Loken refusing the hero. as seen in The Buried Dagger, one of my favorite stories in all of the Horus Heresy. Malcador gave Winter a command, and the robed man walked stiffly to the veiled shape below the drop cloth. Gathering up armfuls of the black silk, Winter pulled the covering away and let it fall to the floor. Revealed there was a tall arc of which appeared to be bone. The surface was detailed with alien icons and iridescent hemispheres that took on a soft, radiant glow as Malcador approached it. The sight of the construct gave shock to those there, but still, it gave Loken a hard pause. What is that doing here? Serving a greater cause. Now you understand what is at stake. You have been judged and found worthy. He glanced back at the assembled warriors. What was given to you is for only you. Consider it a gift. A final word of guidance from the Emperor himself. Winter laid his long-fingered hands on the glowing orbs that protruded from the sides of the bone arch. And as he did so, raw power from the battery modules arrayed around the chamber bled into the structure along sputtering cables. He shouldn't be able to do that. Only one of them could. Winter has a purpose to fulfill, just as we do. Was that remorse or something else? Loken heard in the Sigillite's terse reply. He could not be certain. Your servant is not human. He never was. A faint sapphire glow began to gather in the crook of the arch, and Malcador looked up at it, the cold color casting his face with ghostly shades. Winter is what he is what he needed to be, as am I, as are you. Thunder cracked around the chamber, and the glittering mote of light grew into a rippling, coruscanting ring, as Winter moved his hands in a complex dance, making glyphs in the static-filled air. The energy effect stabilized into a portal. Through it, Loken could see the hazy image of a smoky, orange-hued landscape, belted by harsh chemical rains. The rich odor of raw methane seeped back through the gateway. Titan, and the fortress there. Prepared, as I said. Malcador took a step towards the shimmering threshold. It is too dangerous to make the journey by starship, and time is no longer our ally. Quickly now, go through, and I will show you your destiny. The group advanced towards the portal, but Loken did not move. The Sigillite saw his hesitation and turned back to face him. Cryus, he began, but Loken raised a hand. No, said the warrior, producing the silver coin. I had another name once before, and I didn't take it. I am Garfield Loken. I was born as such, and death will know me as the same. Malcador's expression became stony. The Sigillite was not a man who was often refused. Consider carefully what you say next. The arc of your life will turn upon it. I have never been more certain of anything. With respect, Lord Regent, I refuse you. He tossed the silver coin into the air, and Malcador drew it into his cloth grip with a telekinetic pull. Whatever destiny I have, it lies on Terra, not Titan. Conflicted emotions passed over the Sigillite's face. It would have been a simple matter for the great Psyker to compel Loken to obey him and follow to the distant Saturnian moon. But what righteousness would there be in such an act? At length, the coin vanished into the folds of his robes. 8 will carry the day then. He looked up at the warrior, who now stood alone on the far side of the chamber. As you wish, Loken. Malcador stood silently by as Koyos, Jotun, and the other vanished through the gateway, with Winter trailing at their heels. When only 2 of them remained, Malcador gave Loken a tense look of farewell and turned away, towards the portal. Horus will destroy you, the Sigillite said quietly, without looking back. And Cerberus will not save you. We'll see. Loken replied, as the thunder cracked about him once again. For those that don't remember the characters that well, Winter is the half-Eldar, half-human hybrid that keeps trying to end his existence every time he finds out he is a clone for Malcador to toy with. Koyos is the original Tylos Rubio, after he was corrupted by Erebus. Jotun is a rune priest, and we all know who Loken is, the main Luna Wolf, and later, besides Nathaniel Garrow, the main Knights Errant. But the Warp Nexus, Dead Fields, and Webway Portal are not the only things found on Titan. There are some way crazier dangers and relics on the moon. In a way, Titan's Citadel can be compared to the dark vaults underneath the Imperial Palace. And it might even be holding an entire Catan shard, or something even worse. Let's take a look at mystery number 4. What is inside the Chambers of Purity?
The Chambers of Purity.
Within the Grey Knights, two orders are counted as the chapter's most elite warriors. First, there's the Paladins, which in essence are their mightiest warriors. Each one is of considerable psychic might, and to become a Paladin, they must slay one of the most powerful demons the chapter has ever encountered. Yet this cadre is a stark contrast to the Purifiers. Any Grey Knight is perfectly suited to slay demons, but it is the Purifier who is a literal anathema to chaos. Demons do not just hate the presence of these warriors, but it is actively harmful to them to stay around a Purifier.
Ooh.
Yet, the primary duty of the Purifiers is not to slay demons, but instead to hold vigil over the Chambers of Purity. Within the Citadel on Titan, the Grey Knights hold many relics and powerful weapons, and while many of these are displayed with pride, many more are kept hidden within the deepest vaults of the Chambers of Purity. These can be demonic relics, twisted trophies still filled with restless spirits clinging to life.
We don't want
Sometimes
baddies to
they
get
are
that.
books, blades, and bones held immobile in gilded stasis caskets that fill niches around the chamber. The ancient technology and powerful will of the Purifiers keeping the demonic artifacts dormant. Another example is the Iron Grimoire, a secret tome penned by Malkador himself and kept safe by the Supreme Grand Master. But this grimoire tells a much darker secret. Deep beneath the Citadel, there is a great evil, imprisoned by the Emperor of Mankind himself. This thing was fought and laid low, but could never be truly killed. The Emperor brought it here during the Unification Wars, and since the inception of the Grey Knights, at least one Purifier must be stationed within this vault for all of eternity. When guards change, many more Purifiers are brought in to keep an eye out, and as the new guard takes his place, they will close the door behind him, locking the Purifiers within until new guards have to be brought in again. While the Purifiers learn of this evil directly from their duty as its guardians, only the Supreme Grand Master is permitted to read the Iron Grimoire. According to the ancient tome, the very ground of Titan is a graven tomb. The Chambers of Purity are the oldest part of the Citadel and act as the capstone to this tomb on top of Mount Anarch. In the roughly 10,000 years of existence of the chapter, this tomb has shaken Titan multiple times. The very rock of the moon and Citadel shake, and during these periods, the Purifiers seal their chambers even tighter. While these grim-faced wardens tend to their duty, the rest of the chapter holds its collective breath, hoping the tremors end, and that their Purifier brothers may return. And so far, they always have. Rumors exist within the chapter, however, that deep within the Chambers of Purity, an Elder Webway Gate exists, bound in Stygian gloom. A primordial evil of unimaginable power presses against its wards. In recent times, with the Great Rift, the tremors happen more often, as whatever is inside seeks to break free. Of the 50 or so Purifiers left within the Order, few will ever leave Titan, as their duty continues to get worse. And now it is time for the fifth, and honestly, most contentious mystery of the Grey Knights Codex. Let's take a look at the Terminus Decree and the side titans that may actually be part of the deal. You know, those blank-faced titans from the Horus Heresy from the Ordo Sinister.
The Terminus Decree! The last mystery!
The Terminus Decree is said to be locked deep within the vaults of the Chambers of Purity, apparently held within the tomb of Malkador the Hero himself.
People hate how this was handled?
Quick side note, immediately presents an interesting lore contradiction, as we now also know for certain that his tomb is located in the Chambers of the First Brotherhood, which are not connected to the Purifiers
It used to be a
and their
mystery?
Chambers of Purity
well.
at all. But I digress. Resting within a simple wooden box, embellished with a golden seal, are a set of instructions. This artifact is recorded nowhere else in Imperial archives, and only the Supreme Grandmaster of the Grey Knights knows about its existence and how to open the box. It was once believed that in the darkest hour of humanity, when all hope seems lost, the Terminus Decree would either destroy the Imperium of Man or save it from certain doom. Yet recently, the contents of the Terminus Decree have finally been revealed to us, and it is rather grim. The decree is the Emperor's final command to the Grey Knights, namely that the Master of Mankind is never allowed to leave the Golden Throne. If the Emperor is returned to life, reborn in another's body, or ascends as a warp entity, the Grey Knights must return him to the Golden Throne on Terra. This task is so important that no one could ever succeed except for the Grey Knights. Yet the Terminus decree does not explain how the Grey Knights might achieve this. Should they ever enact the Terminus decree and try and recapture the Emperor to bring him back to the Imperial Palace, they would surely have to fight the Adeptus Custodes and their Sisters of Silence allies. There is no way these silver-armored Astartes are going to be let into the throne room to go mess with the most important device in human history, and hell, even lay their hands on the Emperor at all. So how would the Grey Knights do this? Do they possess any weapons that could fight and win against the Imperial Palace? And let's go through the list of what they're actually up against.
I feel like
Multiple
that was a
thousands of
secret that didn't need to be
Custodes,
locked up
multiple
that bad.
thousands of Sisters of Silence, entire Mechanicus forces, 2 Warhound Titans, and an unknowable amount of Lucifer Black Imperial troops, and whatever amount of servitors, automated defenses, and you know, maybe the entire Imperial Phish chapter. There is no way, right? What could they possibly bring against this? All of that, however, is only a surface level understanding of the Grey Knights. The chapter has its own menagerie of esoteric and world-ending weapons. Titan is orbited by a set of moons, which house weapons so powerful that even now, the Grey Knights fear using them. The chapter is capable of equipping all of its warriors in Terminator armor. They have their own psychic blanks, and possibly even those possessed warriors. On top of that, they can even bring dozens of the indomitable Nemesis Dreadknights, which can only be piloted by the strongest Grey Knights, turning a single warrior into something mighty enough to face a greater demon in single combat. In fact, 2 Nemesis Dreadknights, led by a Grandmaster, inside his own Dreadknight, were capable of defeating the demon Primarch Angron. While one Dreadknight was destroyed, the second was only wounded, and the Grandmaster died as he pushed Angron into the warp with his own bare hands. This feat of 3 warriors taking on a Primarch is utterly unprecedented. Yet every one of these weapons pales in comparison to the chapter's most powerful asset. And no, that is not plot armor. The Grey Knights have a host of ancient Side Titans from the Ordo Sinister, preserved from before the Imperium even existed. Now, if you have watched my How Powerful Are Side Titans video, you already understand how insane this is.
I didn't watch
but
it,
for those
so I
not
don't
familiar
understand.
with Side Titans,
Okay,
here is a
thank
short
you.
excerpt where the Side Titan Borealis Toon fights a demon behemoth, a monster so big and terrifying that it made the Khan and Valdor run back to the Imperial Palace later on during the Siege of Terra, as seen in Ordo Sinister. Borealis Toon's psychic might is ascending, but it cannot be brought into alignment yet. Hydragerum smiles. The demon before him has waited until just this moment to manifest. While the fresh Psyker ammunition meshes with the spirit of Borealis Toon, it is just a titan like any other. Clever, he says to himself, and fires the turbo lasers. Spears of sunbright fire stab at the demon. It changes, flowing forward like a flock of carrion birds. Borealis turns, weapons pivoting, slicing fire after the creature. It is faster. It passes through the Titan's void shields with a rippling boom. Curtains of light flash into being and vanish. Hydragerum stabs the machine back, but the demon is rising, its scattered form gathering into a serpentine body.
This video came out August of last year, so pretty new. I think it came out after the new codex for the Grey Knights. I think that's what he was saying at the beginning of the video.
Its substance is blurring, dust and shadows spilling behind it as it pushes against the presence of the Side Titan. Lesser creatures would be destroyed by the close presence of Borealis, but this beast is an exalted thing of chaos, and the war pours into its being faster than it can be unmade. A long head of scales and teeth forms at the end of its body as it coils around the Titan. Hydragerum can only see darkness beyond the Titan's eyes. In the hollow projection, the demon's mouth opens again with a scream of burning cities. Fire cloaks Borealis' tune. Black lacquer blisters on its skin. The demon serpent vomits flame as it spirals around the titan. The tide of lesser demons surges forward like plains jackals and carrion feeders made bold by the bleeding lion. Inside the titan's skull, Hydragerum feels scorching heat spread over his skin. He is a psychic void, but he is linked to Borealis' tune by neural interface, and its damage is his pain. The air is vibrating as the crucible rotates in a blur. He needs time. He slams two of the cardinal elements of the crucible into sympathy with the 34th hexagrammatic resonance, and the fire in Borealis' tune's bones cools. Its heat blistering skin shimmers, damage vanishing as though it had never been. The demon serpent hisses, and the fire pours from its throat, so hot that its core is blue, its edges white. Ice forms where the flames wash the titan's skin. The lichway is quaking, alien pillars shatter and fall, splinters shattering and burning in the psychic gale. Lesser demons circle in the air and on the tunnel walls, eyes bright with fear and thirst. Bolt shells and lost blasts rain down from Borealis' tune, cutting a circle through the waves of creatures boiling around it. The demon serpent rears in Hydragerum's hollow display. His hand plucks the rune of iron from the air as the crucible spins past him. Iron is the basest element in all those he can wield. Its control represented by a lump of raw ore. Rough lines across the lump's surface, forming words that have been dead to mankind for over 30 millennia. Hydragerum grips the iron and punches. The serpent is directly in front of Borealis' tune, hooded in fire, flowing like a silk ribbon snapping in the wind. The titan's power fist lashes forward. Ghost eyes scatters from fingers the size of tank barrels as they snap shut around the serpent's throat. Lightning sheets out. Cold fire arcs from the closed fist. The serpent writhes, spewing flame, its shape flickering and sliding between muscle, feathers, flesh and smoke. The titan squeezes, pouring its essence into the grasp, strangling the creature, eating its essence. Hydragerum is sweating. Feedback is bleeding into him across the neural link in his skull. The crucible's current alignment cannot hold for much longer. The elements are pulling apart. The universe abhors stability, and the controls of a Side Titan are the universe distilled and transmuted into symbols, levers, and movements. He holds on, siphoning the power of the Titan into its fist. He needs to hold it for just a little longer. The demon becomes still in the Titan's grasp, and then it is not a creature, but an expanding column of fire and black smoke. It reaches up, spreading across the lichway in an anvil-headed cloud. The blast wave tears lesser demons apart and spins them up into the embrace of a cyclone. Borealis' tune staggers, injured, but still fighting. This is a fight against one of the strongest demons ever encountered. In a way, maybe even stronger than all demon primarchs combined, and a single Side Titan can defeat it. These things were one of the few tools the Custodes and Sigil.
All demon primarchs combined. How many are those? Angron? Who else is a demon? 6 of them. Damn. Stronger than 6 demon primarchs? And a Side Titan can just... Hello? Crazy.
Silence needed if they did not all want to die during the War of the Webway. One of these, if used right, can overpower the black...
Angron, Lorgar, Fulgrim, Mortarion, Magnus, and Perturavo. Okay, well... Dang.
Of all sisters in existence. It can send shockwaves of dread and soul-curdling screams that make even Custodes fall to their knees. And with its turbo laser cannons, and simply being a Warlord Titan as well, the gates of Terra might not hold as long as people would expect. For me personally, I believe that this Terminus decree is a red herring. The fact is, we already know what the Terminus decree actually is. We have known for years. During the Horus Heresy, Basilio Foe was captured by the Emperor and forced to make a genetic plague that can be engineered to kill any specific legion, marine or primarch. It is a scalpel that can stop a legion from forming. It can also be a nuke of plague that would kill every single biologically engineered warrior in the entire galaxy. And this doesn't just kill the body, it kills the souls too. If it is adjusted just right, even the demon primarchs could be obliterated forever, just like Horus was. But even if this is the real and new Terminus decree, then there's still a great chance that the Grey Knights and Custodes would work together. After all, in the recent Era of Ruin book,
they're gonna
we
make
have
up?
learned that while a custodian can disagree with the Emperor, they cannot disobey any of his orders. Even if this one was written by Malcador, it would still carry the seal of the Emperor, no matter what. As a whole, the Grey Knights have killed many millions of innocent people. Entire refugee fleets have been purged. Regiments.
Their delivery of this reveal on the Terminus decree reads like a major lapse in communication in GW's writing department. Someone forgot to check with someone else whether this bit checks at and it somehow made it into the damn codex purely due to it being overlooked. This kind of thing happens when not enough people truly care about what they're creating, and that is very worrying.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I know there's a lot of different pieces of the lore, and the lore is like so expansive, but I don't know. I feel like the community and like the YouTubers who make the original videos that we react to, like they're more organized than whatever the heck GW's doing. Like they should hire a guy. Why don't they commission the YouTubers since they already have all of this data, okay? And make a timeline. And make different sectors in charge of different things and have them consult people. Like, this could be a whole organization. This could be a whole thing. Always a chance of it getting retconned over time, like when the Sisters of Battles were massacred by the Grey Knights was retconned. We're going to learn about that one next. This rumor comes from the chapter master Valrock, but apparently the different departments of GW don't communicate. Guys, we gotta talk to each other. We gotta communicate with each other. This is what the Emperor would have wanted. No talk, only telepathy. You cannot telepathize someone who doesn't think with their brain. The Golden Boys don't talk to the Sophie Boys, and certainly not with the Blueberries. Nobody's talking. We're all brothers and cousins, right? Well, what are the Grey Knights and the Custodes? If the Primarchs are the sons of the Emperor, like the wards of the nephews? What are the Space Marines? What is this family tree, and can we talk about it? Can we communicate within the tree?
Of Imperial Guards executed. Entire refugee fleets have been purged. Regiments of Imperial Guards executed. And Space Marines and Inquisitorial forces mind-wiped. Yet these sacrifices and horrible actions have not saved millions or billions. No, the actions of the Grey Knights have saved hundreds of trillions. Also yes, this is canonical. This is paraphrased from the Codex directly. The future of Warhammer 40k still remains grim and dark, and whatever happens next, the Grey Knights are to be on the front stage with anything relating to the warp. The Terminus decree and the list of nightmare weapons of the Grey Knights are very intriguing, but I find the mystery of the Dead Fields to be the most fascinating piece of lore from the new codex. In many ways, the Grey Knights are treading a fine line between righteousness and heresy. It is possible that the Grey Knights could use their fallen brothers to replace casualties, similar to how the Thousand Sons utilized their Rubric Marines. For the first time in a while, I feel very excited about all the brand new lore in a codex. The 10th edition Grey Knights Codex actually kinda slaps. And if it's something you are interested in, I can definitely recommend it. Not for
the codex slaps! Thank you, the gaming storyteller. The codex slaps. Fan is short for fanatic, so it's no wonder lore tubers know more than the company. I mean, this is your baby. This is your product. You should represent it better. I'm just saying. Or you should hire someone who knows how to do that to do it.
Oh my god, you're huge!
The reason I asked how old the video is because the information regarding Hiharis heresy has been updated since this video was made.
Since August?
The Ordo Sinister all were deployed on Terra by Arogaldorn, and they all were destroyed or sucked into the warp fighting demon-possessed titans. However, That's not to say that some reappeared and were collected by the Grey Knights after Terra was liberated, but it has to be quite few since they didn't have many Titans to start with.
Oh. How? Where did the demon possessed Titans come from? Those were also Rogaldorn and then the demons started possessing them, or they come from elsewhere? Crazy work. Also, when did this information come out? If this was in August, what are we? March? August, September, October, November, January, February, March. 6 months ago. Chaos Marines are supported by the Dark Mechanicus and they make... Oh, so they made their own Titans? Why can't we just make more Titans? Make more Titans! Keep making them! Woo! Okay. So, you guys have talked about the Blood Tide. They were Titan legions that sided with Horus and their crews were... Oh, got it. They come from the dark age of technology and I don't have to explain a thing. Heard. Was there like a set number of how many Titans each chapter had? Or am I misremembering that? Or like each legion had? It's like every legion have like 5 Titans? 10th edition codex is actually contentious. It revealed what the Terminus decree is and it also established the Grey Knights are stealing other chapters' recruits for some reason. Oh. Why are they stealing? Little stealers? You little stealers? Okay, there's an ad in progress, so we're just going to talk about this. Chapters don't have Titans, they're an allied faction. Oh! Okay. That makes sense why I've never seen a colorful Titan. The Grey Knights are stealing kids to also develop a Spartan 2 program on the side and then make a load of Master Chiefs. Now this is a Halo lore channel. Oh no, I can't dive into another lore. That little sidebar into Resident Evil, if that wasn't Smosh, there's no way I would have had that in my brain. Okay? You basically ask the Titan Legion for help, and if they like you, they come. Okay. Hi, Titan Legion, do you like me? Can you help me? I'm just a little guy. Okay. They remember the one time you said their suits look ugly? I didn't say they looked ugly. I said they were large and huge and giant. I never called a Titan ugly. I called other people ugly. But not a Titan. In the Horus Heresy novel Titan Death, had the largest fight of different Titan legions fighting each other, and the Ordo Sinister had 1/4 of their legion there and lost both Titans. The remaining 8 fought on Terra during the siege in the novel Mortis. Titan Legion, I'll give you my entire stock. Let's freaking go. 1/4 of their legion, they lost both Titans. So there were 10 Titans. That's math, guys. Please, simplify the math. They're so big, they have hundreds of thousands of people to work in them. Yeah, I know. Why would I call them ugly? They're little ecosystems. That's beautiful. The Titans are their own things, usually known as houses, hence the name Knights. Zephyr! Okay. Why is everybody set on putting the sushi on me forever? Can't I just react to lore without this thing on me? Guys, inflation must be happening. This is redonkulous. 3 different people have redeemed this in this stream. Anyways, thank you for watering the chat, Leo, and watering the fish. We heard before Amos is producing gear for the Grey Knights and they can build Titans. Also, we can just build a Titan. You know where else we can build a Titan? Probably on Zephyr Arcade, right? Heyo! Ba-ba-ba-ba! Are there Titan kits? Well, I don't know. Why don't you go look? And if you don't find any, then maybe you'll find something else you would like. Ba-ba-ba-ba! Heyo! Got him. Anyways. I'm coping by being a sushi. Wear the sushi, be the sushi, feel the sushi. We got stuff, hopefully sushi kits in the future. Let's freaking go. Dreadnought kits on Zephyr Arcade. Dreadnought's gonna make a ssakanasushi dreadnought, right? Right? If I heard that correctly. Let's see it. We can make our little larks. We'll make our little lark space marines. We gotta make Lamenter space marines. We gotta make the shark space marines. Guys, I'm gonna be running up a tab at Zephyr Arcade. Good thing I have my code ssakanasushi for 10% off. Am I right? Ba-ba-ba-bum! Ba-ba-ba-ba! Ba-ba-ba-ba! Okay, anyways. I'll force her to like Tau because I'm sitting on a million of them. You know, didn't somebody say the tower fish? And I'm fish. So I might need to learn about them. If I'm a fish and they're a fish. And we also have that one guy in YouTube chat who's in love with them. Hey, me or them? Me or them? Who's a weeb fish? Me or them? Tower weebs? Oh, they're weebs. Okay. Got it. Heard. Not me. Them. A lot of their vehicles have fish names. Where's their ssakanasushi one, huh? Show me that. Show me that. Also, where am I going to put all my built orcs? And my ssakanasushi dreadnought? And my lark space marines? And my lamenter and Carcharodon space marines? Oh my goobus. If you paint it red, they're faster. True. They're communist, mecha-addicted weeb fish. Well, I'm 3 out of 4 of those. I will get a Tau devilfish and name it the ssakanasushi if that helps. That helps! Which 3? Let's watch this video.
This is known for being incredibly dark.
Can't decide whether to do a dreadnought in Sakana's colors or my assault marine mini. I mean, why don't you make them all in my colors? And don't forget, look at this. Hi, Saro Nyaho. Don't forget. Very important to add to the dreadnought. Oh, frick. Oops. My decapitated body. The little sushi stickers! Nyaho Draco. The fishnets! And the hearts. All important details. Oh! Hold on. Hold on. And the scales! Can you see my scales? Can you see my scales? See my scales. Okay. We'll keep the jacket off. It's kind of warm. The tower fish is a meme because Imperial... Hey! Who the... Not short. Now the sushi looks ridiculous on me. The tower fish is a meme because an Imperial Guard named their vehicles after fish. They're actually 3-toed ungulates, like rhinos. Oh. What are rhinoceroses, if not fish? Everyone was once a fish. That's too much work for a first-time painter. I believe in you. I thought you were going to have fish legs like a mermaid. I have regular legs. I don't have a tail. Anyways. To the video. Woo. Rhinos are horned landfish, maybe. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Make a Death Watch army. There are anti-Xenos faction and each marine can come from a different chapter. Oh. Yeah. Mushroom orcs. Mushroom orcs. Oh, I get to show you my mushroom orcs tomorrow if you didn't see it last time. Anyways, the video. This is by Weshammer. Published on April 29, 2022. Almost 4 years old. Happy almost 4-year anniversary. Let's go.
The Warhammer universe is known for being incredibly dark, but with all of these dark elements, there's context that makes them make sense. However, there's one particular story that has become kind of infamous in the 40k community. It's known as the Blood Tide, and it's got just about everything a grim derp story needs. It's relentlessly gory and dark to an obscene level. It's got characters making dumb decisions, and a solution that leaves the reader completely baffled. The story is so ridiculous that people are even starting to question whether or not it's even canon, even though Games Workshop has never made a statement on it. So in this video, we're gonna dive into what the Blood Tide actually was, whether or not it's still canon, and what retcons actually look like in the context of the 40k universe. Okay, so what even was the Blood Tide? So the Blood Tide was actually an ancient device from the Dark Age of technology. It was a massive swarm of nanobots that carried with them a horrific blood disease that was incredibly contagious, and once infected, all of the victims' blood would burst out of every orifice on their body. The purpose of this thing was to, quote, drown entire worlds in blood. And honestly, that checks out. Sounds like a 40k doomsday weapon to me. Apparently, the Blood Tide was even self-aware, and was able to merge many of these bots into a vaguely humanoid shape in which it was able to communicate with people. It was unleashed on an unsuspecting world and killed the entirety of its population, which was around 10 billion people. Now there it would remain dormant for thousands of years before being rediscovered by the Dark Mechanicum, and then later being utilized by a demon prince of the Alpha Legion who unleashed it on 1,000 more worlds, before the Blood Tide would inevitably go dormant once again. So this is one of the major storylines of the novel Hunt for Valdoris, which was written by Andy Hoare. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I have not read this particular book yet. So we're just going with the summary of it here. And if you wanna know more about this thing, you should definitely check it out. Now, that's all well and good. Super doomsday weapons that drown planets in blood.
Weshammer's like, I'm not reading all that. I got the summary. You can read that if you want to. Not me. And I respect that. As an English major, pop off. Give me the Spark Notes. It was a fun book. Okay, we have someone who's read the book. Let's go.
Blood. Nothing out of the ordinary there for 40k lore. However, the Blood Tide would show up once again in the 5th edition Grey Knights Codex. And this was the last time that it was mentioned, and it's by far one of the most infamous things in all of 40k.
Okay, last time it was mentioned was in the 5th edition of the Codex, and from the last video we watched, there was just a 10th edition of the Codex. Heard. So where was it for the last 5 editions? Retconned, maybe.
It was the last time that it was mentioned, and it's by far one of the most infamous things in all of 40k. You see, thousands of years later, the Blood Tide would come under the possession of a Khorne bloodthirster known as, alright, I'm gonna do my best here. Kajaganath. Kajaganath?
Sounds right. To me.
That sounds about right. Listen, words are hard for me to begin with, but when you throw demon words into the mix, all bets are off. So Kajaganath was imprisoned upon the world of Van Horn. He broke free and unleashed the Blood Tide upon its population, causing its citizens to descend in a gore frenzy of rampant bloodletting and slaughter for 8 days straight. On the 9th day, the Sisters of the Ebon Chalice were dispatched to put an end to him. However, a large portion of them would inevitably become corrupted by the Blood Tide. The Bloodthirster was only stopped when the Grey Knights arrived. But the way they managed to defeat him was pretty controversial to say the least. You see, they slaughtered the remaining uncorrupted sisters and used their sacred blood mixed with holy oils to create warding talismans. These talismans were painted on their armor and allowed them to resist the Blood Tide's corruption. Okay, so just to recap, the Grey Knights slaughtered their allies for their blood in order to use that blood to fight a blood demon of the Blood God who was attempting to drown worlds in oceans of blood. The irony was completely lost on them. So for a lot
blood corrupting. pandemic. Solution: blood of our homies.
A lot of people, this event falls into the category of something that's being dark just for the sake of being dark. Which honestly, sometimes that can be fun. And like I said, if it's not your cup of tea, I totally understand that. But in my experience, there's no way of talking about this thing without 100 people coming out of the woodwork to let you know that it has in fact been retconned. And I know about this personally as I mentioned it briefly in one of my 1-minute videos, and I got a whole bunch of comments correcting me, letting me know that it wasn't canon anymore. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that one of my favorite things to do is hang out in the comment section and talk with you guys about Warhammer. So I asked quite a few of these individuals if they could point out a source for the retcon. But not a single one of these people was able to actually point me to the new source of the lore. And this doesn't happen very often, because Warhammer fans love talking about Warhammer and they love showing off just how much they know about Warhammer.
Hey guys, it's you!
I've definitely been guilty of this myself. And I know that sounds super arrogant, and it would be ridiculous to expect every single person to pull up a list of sources whenever they're just talking about 40k. I've read around 100 novels at this point.
That's not ridiculous. That is perpetuating citation and scientific inquiry. They just want a gamer space nun blessed blood, okay? And I'm sure there's a candle for that. This isn't even mentioned in the Sisters of Battle Codexes either. Oh, got a point there.
And I get the sources of different events mixed up constantly. It happens, but I thought this phenomena of literally hundreds of people telling me that it had been retconned without being able to point to the story that replaced it pretty interesting. You see, when I get corrected, I do my due diligence to try to track down the primary source in order to confirm if it's true or not. And if it is, I totally change my way of thinking based on it. But this one...
Oops. Sorry, I sped that up. Okay.
Interesting. You see, when I get corrected, I do my due diligence to try to track down the primary source in order to confirm if it's true or not. And if it is, I totally change my way of thinking based on it. But this one had me stumped. So
okay, when I get corrected, I go la 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 and I don't hear your ass. So, that's a joke, obviously. Correct me when I'm wrong. But do it in a nice way. You don't have to be a weenie about it, okay? Do it in a nice way. Anyway.
So I did a whole lot of digging, and I believe the source of the retcon comes down to a single Reddit post, where the author claims that it's been retconned based on 3 major facts. The first is that this story was only printed in a single Grey Knights codex and didn't show up in later edition. The second is that in the 7th edition codex, a story was printed that shows the Grey Knights and the sisters working side by side, and everything is great and nobody's getting sacrificed for their holy blood.
Cute.
The third, and this is probably the most important one, was because it was just stupid to begin with. And hey, maybe this author is 100% right. Maybe Games Workshop did quietly sweep it under the rug without addressing it. But if I'm being honest, I'm not convinced. This isn't how retcons normally work in 40k. It's very rare that something that was considered canon is just suddenly not part of the lore anymore without any alternatives being given. When a retcon happens, it's normally a recontextualization of an event. The same story will be told from a different point of view that gives new information and offers a different perspective. This is actually a really smart way of doing this, because it doesn't discredit the old lore or completely pretend like it didn't happen. A story that was written in 2009 may be revisited in 2022, but who do you trust, the original perspective or this new one? Or do you have to find some kind of middle ground between them? Now, that's not to say that retcons don't happen all the time, because Warhammer is a universe that's kind of all over the place, so they definitely do. Another common form of retconning is when new characters...
Okay, but how do you retell that? Guys, we were just messing around the first time we told you that they were killing the sisters and using their blood. Actually, that's not what they were doing. They weren't killing the sisters and using their blood. The sister just so happened to already be bleeding. And they just collected it. 'Cause they're friends. Like, hello? Oh, I grew. Thank you. I grew out of my sushi. Like, it makes sense if they didn't retcon it because it wasn't retconnable. You know? They were just like, yep, don't know how we fixed that one, buddy. Move on.
Are introduced to help flesh out certain events and storylines. This is what happened with one such character, Urda, who was a perpetual and by all accounts is the mother of the Primarchs. Or the geneticist known as Astartes. who helmed the Space Marine project and helped bring the Space Marines into existence. And additionally, this is where they get the name Astartes from. Or even looked at the character Belisarius Cawl, who apparently is 10,000 years old and has had his hand in just about everything the Imperium has ever done, yet wasn't mentioned for the first time until around 2017. That being said, I absolutely love Cawl. He's the best character in all of 40k, don't at me.
Don't at him. It was originally written by the great heretic Matt Ward, who wrote all the 5th and 6th editions of 40k. It was also well known that he did not want the Battle Sisters to exist in the universe, and that was one of his steps to removing them from the genre, but when he was replaced, GW removed a lot of things he wrote they felt was spiteful. Why didn't he want the Sisters of Battle to exist? Have him be the one to tell their story, how the Grey Knights are scary to some Chaos Space Marines. I personally believe this event still took place for one primary reason. The Sisters of Battle are second only to the Grey Knights in their inability to avoid being corrupted. Only a handful have fallen without direct influence. So their blood would be powerful. The systems are awesome, what a weirdo. He openly felt women do not have a right in Warhammer 40k. Oh. So misogyny. So, hey, you guys shouldn't be here. We're gonna sacrifice and blood you. Okay. Cool. I feel safe around him. He was like, no girls allowed. Yep, I feel safe. Yep, I feel so safe. I would not let him hold my drink. Ever. The period blood of faith. Yeah, actually, guys. That's what it was. Sure. Anyways. Glad he's gone. Don't know him. Don't want to know him. Don't touch my drink. Just take it like one story from a million worlds and go on. Yeah, it's like one of those stories that we don't fact check. He allowed woman characters in Warhammer Fantasy since he wrote that too, but not 40k? Why? I don't want to know why, actually. I don't care to hear know why. I don't care to hear or know why, actually.
That being said, I absolutely love Cawl. He's the best character in all of 40k, don't at me. So the major point I'm trying to get across with these examples is that these are true 40k retcons, where the information that we previously had is shown to be limited in scope, and new characters or new information is added to flesh it out further. It's in these moments that we can truly tell that something has been changed because we can see the old lore versus the new lore and find where the differences are. Let's examine a few more examples. The Primaris Marines being immune to corruption and immune to things like the Blood Angels Black Rage, and then Games Workshop suddenly releasing Primaris Death Company, being like, oopsie doopsie, I guess they aren't totally immune after all. That's a retcon. The Necron species being little more than soulless killing machines that show up to purge all life and then vanish without a trace. And then in 5th edition being completely fleshed out, being given the ability to speak, having all of their dynasties and their unique personalities being brought to the forefront, and having just about everything about them be completely overhauled, that's a retcon.
That's a retcon.
Or how about the fact that Firstborn Marines who cross the Rubicon and become Primaris have a survival rate of something like 1 in 100. This is what we've been told since the Primaris came out. But then when Godblight released, it had an offhanded comment near the end of the novel that basically said Belisarius Cawl had perfected the transition. And now basically every Firstborn Marine that decides to become Primaris does so without the risk of a horrific death. These are retcons.
That's a retcon.
Looking back at the Blood Tide example from earlier, a story just not being reprinted again is not something I would consider a retcon. If this was the case, then the introduction of the 9th edition Codex format would have retconned enormous amounts of lore, as previous editions always included a lore segment for every unit in the army. In 9th edition, this section was completely removed, something that I'm still kinda honestly salty about as it was my favorite part of reading a codex. However, in fairness, this was probably done because Crusade got added to the game, and I'm just assuming that they have a certain amount of pages that have to be in the book, and they can't really go over that limit, so something had to go. So if our definition of a retcon includes something from a previous edition not showing up in the new one, does that mean that the introduction of the new Orc Codex retconned all of the lore for Stormboys, Ludas, Knobs, Gretchen, and just about everything else? Is none of that considered canon anymore? Personally, I think that's kind of ridiculous. Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
I love when orcs show up.
And in the author's defense, this is not always the case. as we saw the Necron Pariahs quietly removed a few editions ago, and Games Workshop never really addressed this. This to me introduces the concept of soft and hard retcons, where an event
Soft
being
and hard.
recontextualized would be considered a hard retcon, and something kinda just not being mentioned for a while would be more of a soft one. Now, in my opinion, I believe that we should draw a distinction between lore from the game and lore from the novels. I personally think the Pariahs were shelved because they didn't really fit the gameplay design that the Codex authors had going forward. But since everything in-game has lore attached to it, its removal kinda creates a vacuum. But that being said, without hard evidence that Games Workshop considers them to have never existed, we should then assume that they did at one point but are not utilized anymore. So in the case of a soft retcon like that of the Pariahs, it would be my belief that they did in fact exist. They were definitely a real thing at one point, but for whatever reason they're just no longer seen within the dynasties. Until they come out with a hard and fast, this is why they are not around anymore, they all died, or the Necrons decided they weren't worth utilizing, or hell, maybe everyone who ever saw one was just having a wild fever dream, or whatever. Until that happens, I would still consider them canon. The lore on them is just kinda shady. And who knows,
Canon,
maybe
but
Games
shady.
Workshop is planning on reintroducing them to the lore sometime in the future, so it didn't really make a lot of sense to come up with a story on why they were all wiped out. Another major retcon is the Leagues of Votan or the Squats. And as of the time of recording this video, their new codex has been announced, but we still haven't gotten our hands on it. And if you didn't know, the Squats
might have
used to be
gotten our
part of
hands
the
on it
game
now.
in way earlier editions, but were subsequently removed as 40K kinda wanted to distance itself from its fantasy origins. A story was quickly thrown together about how they were all eaten by Tyranids. And although this is kinda dumb, it did give us a canonical reason why they weren't around anymore. And I think that's incredibly important. Even if it's just a few quick throwaway lines, it at least gives us context on why something is no longer in the setting. I would be
gives us
willing to bet money
closure.
that when that book does come out, the Tyranid invasion of the Squat homeworlds is not something they're just going to kinda conveniently ignore. It's definitely going to be addressed in the lore section. I'm confident it's an event that's going to at least have a few paragraphs dedicated to it. That explains maybe the Nids did invade the Squat homeworlds, but they rebuilt. Or maybe they were completely successful in fighting off the Tyranid invasion, but then cut communications with the Imperium afterwards for unknown reasons. Probably because they didn't send any backup. Or there's 100 different other reasons they could give us. But as a
Anyone know if he got his money? Anyone read that codex? Is he right? I didn't read it, obviously. Thank you for watering the fish and watering the chat, Leora. Everybody water yourselves now. Hey, if you're watching the VOD, you better be drinking while you're watching this VOD. It's been 3 hours, buddy. Pause the video, drink, return to the video. I consider the Pariahs of the Necrons as a failed experiment of biotransference on humans. You should really look into what retcons the Imperial Fists have had. That sounds sinister. I can't water him slaying Tyranids. You must water. How can you slay Tyranids dehydrated?
proper retcon, it has to be addressed at least
They
a
did
little.
put it out? Okay.
At the end of the day,
Run him
Games
his
Workshop
money.
actually has a pretty amazing catch-all when it comes to lore inconsistencies. The authors of the Black Library tend to agree that everything is considered canon, but not everything is true. And honestly, I think this is kind of brilliant, because to me, the best part of 40k lore is its mystery. It makes you constantly question what you think you know, and leaves a lot of open space for some really interesting debates. But I'm also willing to admit that maybe the reason I like this so much is because I'm also a massive Dark Souls fan, and I absolutely love its esoteric way of telling a story. A lot of people will point to this as inconsistent writing, where multiple authors talk about the same event and each one has a different interpretation of it. But I actually kind of like this. I never really can tell who I can trust. It kind of adds a level of immersion to all of this 40k stuff.
Kind of fun.
So what do I think a retcon
Kind of
of the
immersive.
Blood Tide event would actually look like? If we were introduced to a story from the perspective of the sisters that said something along the lines of, yes, they gave their blood to create the talisman, but it didn't kill them. However, they subsequently went on a penitent crusade, and that's why we haven't heard from them. They cut all contact with the Imperium and exist as their own faction. Or potentially they could come up with a story from the Grey Knight's perspective that said that all of the sisters were corrupted and that's why they were killed, but the event had been covered up as to not bring shame on the sisterhood. Or go in the complete opposite direction and claim that they sacrificed themselves in order to defeat the Bloodthirster. There's honestly 100 different ways they could address this without—
Or they gave up their blood, they died, except one of them. And she sang, and they all came back to life. Huh? Does that sound familiar? That sounds real. Come on. Teaser, not spoiler. The Tyranid invasion caused the leagues of Votan's super AIs to go insane. Oh, is that the STC video? And that's how you play the lore of 40k, you write it yourself. What's hilarious is in the Necromunda Aranthian Succession book, the Votan went to Necromunda and ran into squats, and the squats did not get along with them and do not view the Votan as kin since they have psychers and don't drink. You don't drink, you're not my brother.
Out pretending like it just didn't happen. So this has been a very long-winded way of saying that for something to be retconned, it has to be readdressed and recontextualized. If it's just not spoken about for a long time, I consider it still part of the lore. Especially when you consider that in the almost 600 novels that have been written about Warhammer 40k, there's a lot of stories, characters, and events that were basically a one-time thing. And despite the fact that those things were never addressed again, we still consider all of them to be canon. So from my perspective, we should treat the Blood Tide the exact same way. Just because something hasn't been reprinted doesn't mean it doesn't exist anymore. As I'm pretty sure Games Workshop is aware at this point that that is a horrible way of retconning something, because Warhammer fans never forget.
True. Also, why would you kill all of them for their blood? Can't you just kill one? Like, how much blood are we needing here? How much blood? Hello? One sword per sister? That makes no sense. That's not ethical. That's not resourceful. Oh, what are they called? What are they called when they're stripped of all their armor and they're repenting? Why don't the Repentia? Yes! Why can't they use the Repentia blood instead? Huh? The timeline in 40k is now 2,000 years long. Actually, the timeline in 40k is 40,000 years long. Even I know that. I'd say a Chaos Space Marine summons that demon, and then the Grey Knights show up and the demon gets scared and warns the Chaos Marines of what happens. Since when does the Imperium care about being resourceful? I mean, if there's only so many sisters, you're gonna run out of blood. Use the blood wisely. Donuts, hello? Are the Grey Knights not intelligent?
If you enjoyed this video and you want to help me make more,
woo! Patchy! Follow Weshammer's Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. Follow Weshammer's Patreon. Follow Isyander&Koda's Patreon. I don't know if the other person had a Patreon. Follow Luton's Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. Okay. So we learned about the Blood Tide. We learned about retconning and what's not retconning and what's hard and what's soft. We were in the 40s. Oh, actually, there are 42,000 years. Thank you. Actually, princess. Actually, it's 10,000 years old. Okay, well, actually, that's math. I told you guys I don't do that. Hi, Bethel. Okay, and finally, we are going to top this off. I meant the time limit in 40k, not the Horus Heresy, Dark Times, yada yada. Just active time from 1998 M39 to not the end of M41. Heard. Okay. Lastly, Krakduk. I have been told to watch Krakduk. According to Krakduk, the Grey Knights are silly. Silly little geese. Let's learn how silly they are.
Hi, friends. Space Marines are certainly cool, but you know what makes them even cooler? Well, if they're all wizard knights, had sweet shiny armor, and arm guns. With all that cool stuff, you have the Grey Knights.
Cute.
The Grey Knights are a rather unique chapter and are one of the most, if not the most, elite Space Marine chapters ever. These fellas are the premier demon hunters of the Imperium as the Ordo Militant of the Inquisitorial Ordo Malleus. The Grey Knights were made at the tail end of the Horus Heresy, right before the final clash with Horus. The Emperor prepared the Imperium for the worst. Well, some would say that the Horus Heresy was the worst, so I suppose the super worst.
The second
But anyways,
worst.
knowing that if he fell, the Imperium would be vulnerable to the ever-growing forces of chaos, the Emperor sent Super Chad Malkador to gather Imperials fit to defend humanity from the ever-growing chaos menace. Malkador brought forth 4 normal human lords and 8 space marines. Most of the marines were likely from his Knights Errant, which were an elite group of marines from all chapters, traitor and loyalist, who performed special operations for Mr. the Sigillite. These marines were taken to the moon of Saturn, Titan, to establish a new chapter in the ultra-super-secret fortress monastery on Titan. Originally, this new chapter began with marines from existing legions, but going forth, all new aspirants would be forged with a special gene seed based on the Emperor himself. Malkador appointed Janus, a former Thousand Son, to be the first Supreme Grand Master of the Knights and began production on the new mysterious...
A former Thousand Son? What? Hello? Did I miss that before? He was, huh? How? How do you have a former Thousand Son? This is before we found out that you can heal corruption. Hello? I didn't miss anything. Okay. Actually, Gillivan had noticed the Inquisition has messed up with Imperial history so much he's not sure the timeline what year it really is. The former Thousand Son with a shard of Magnus' soul. Oh, he was given a soul. Okay, so they got him and they gave him a soul. A shard of a soul shard. Okay. Cute. This is like, what is this? This is like a new Yasha. Okay.
Mysterious breed of marines. And thus, the 666th chapter was born. Cause yeah, 18, 19, 20, 666. Alright, that's a bit disingenuous as there is an in-lore explanation for this. During the Siege of Terra, there was just so much insano warp energies in the solar system that funky shit started happening. And of said funky shit, one of the funkier shits was the entire moon of Saturn just disappearing into the warp. And then years later, during the second founding, it finally returned. And thus...
Okay, so this is why I need pictures. Because I think when I watched Isyander&Koda's video, and maybe, yeah, I think when I watched their video and they were talking about the Titan disappearing into the warp, I was thinking the Titan like a Titan, not the moon planet where they live. I was thinking like a giant-ass Titan disappeared into the warp and he was just chilling, and then he came out of the warp. The video link is down here. Oh, not down. Scroll down on my YouTube video. Oh, you're not on YouTube. The video link. This is Krakduk's Grey Knights, the silliest Marines ever. 5 or 6 of the founding Grey Knights were former Legion Chief Librarians. Okay, so the Titan disappeared. Not a giant Titan disappeared. See, I needed to see this.
Saturn just disappearing into the warp.
I needed to see this visualization.
Later, during the second founding, it finally returned. And
hello? Not me watching 3 hours of lore and completely getting it wrong until 2 minutes of this video that shows a disappearing moon. This is a fault of my own, I think. I think this is a fault of my own. Maybe I should only watch Krakduk. That'd be my take too. Okay, I'm not alone. The first Grey Knights were from all different legions, including the traitors. They were not 1,000 Marines at the beginning of the course. Okay, the first Grey Knights were from all the legions. Then they started becoming their own Grey Knights. And now the Grey Knights are stealing, what are they? Well, trainees from the other factions. That's where we are now. I think I'm on board.
And thus, the Grey Knights were officially dubbed the 666th chapter, which also seems a bit far-fetched as the second founding almost certainly didn't have 646 new chapters. But we all know that the Grey Knights were clearly named the 666th chapter because it's cool and edgy, and they just wrote some of the lore to be band-aid solutions to the reasonings. It doesn't really matter that it doesn't make sense, because it's cool, and it's also kind of funny that the ultra demon-hating chapter bears the number of the beast. But anyways, one convenient thing about your super mega chapter
isn't 6 the number of... Lanesh? No. 6 is... Yes? Yes? Was I right? Yeah! Let's freaking go! Oh yeah, 1 point for me. Who's paying attention? Who's learning? Yeah, baby. Let's freaking go. Boom.
After disappearing into the warp for a bit, is that the warp is a strange place and time rarely progresses regularly. Plus, you'll constantly be facing demons and horrors beyond human comprehension.
Demons and horrors.
Which, that second one might not sound like a benefit, but for insano super dudes like the Grey Knights, it indeed is. So, when the Grey Knights returned to real space, they were already a full-fledged chapter of elite demon-killing machines, fortified against the treacherous influences of chaos. How convenient.
Oh boy, that certainly sounds cool. How can I become a Grey Knight?
Well, first off, every aspirant has to be a psyker, so tough luck, that writes off 101% of my viewers with an approximate 1% margin of error. But for the absolute 0% of you who are psychers, these psychers are often chosen from the black sheep.
He did math.
I become a Grey Knight.
Super dudes like the return to real space, they were already a full-fledged chapter of elite demon-killing machines, fortified against the treacherous influences of chaos. How convenient.
Oh boy, that certainly sounds cool. How can I become a Grey Knight?
Well, first off, every aspirant has to be a psyker, so tough luck, that writes off 101% of my viewers with an approximate 1% margin of error. But for the absolute 0% of you who are psykers, these psykers are often chosen from the black ships, transporting psykers to Holy Terra.
I gotta read. Black ships are used to transport the psykers gathered to Terra, either to be trained into sanctioned psykers, sacrificed to the Emperor, or of course become a Grey Knight. There's also some other things, but those are the relevant ones now. Thank you.
Promising psykers are taken to the Chamber of Trials on the Grey Knight homeworld of Titan, and if they pass the trials, they are subjected to a more sophisticated version of the regular Space Marine augmentation process and psycho indoctrination. Then, after all that, they have to pass the 666 rituals of detestation. These rituals are super mega nutty insano. So nutty insano that most full-fledged Space Marines wouldn't be able to pass them. But if these aspirants do pass, their memories and their past lives are wiped and they're given a new name. Reborn, the Space Marine neophytes train under a Justicar until they're promoted to novitiates and are officially accepted into the chapter. The final standard augmentation for Grey Knights is a subdermal silver purity ward across their body to further fortify them against the influences of chaos. Each and every Grey Knight is a power.
They're imbued with silver? So werewolves cannot go near them. Crazy. Demonic, silver, Grey Knights, not silver knights. Okay. She's learning. She's learning.
Powerful psyker, and they're trained to harness their psyker energies into a protective warding aura known as the Aegis. This training allows them to essentially channel their soul energy through their armors and become anathema to demons, kinda like a mini version of the Emperor's aura. In addition, they're taught anti-demon tactics. One potent tactic is true names, and another is, of course, cool sword skills. But back to the first one. To demonstrate how powerful true names really are, one time, absolute mad lad Supreme Grandmaster Caldor Drago was able to incapacitate a demon Primarch Mortarion by speaking his true name.
That's a bug. Why is Mortarion a bug? That's a Pokemon bug? Hecka? Moncheck, where's my Pokemon mod? He's a scythe-wielding Mothman. I didn't know he was a moth. What the heck? Why is he Venomoth? That's what I want to know. You tell me. He has wings? I thought only Sanguinius had wings. What the heck? Now you're telling me all the Primarchs have wings? Look at Mortarian's model. You're going to tell me he looks like Venomoth? Venom equal poison toxic. Oh, he do be looking moth-like. He do be looking moth-like. I see it. I see it. Okay. Now we know. Okay. He's a moth. I guess I need him to explain the Primarchs to me. Crazy. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. Venomoths are good at giving status effects, and Mortarion has wings and is very good at spreading disease. His original model had him looking like a Grim Reaper, but now he's a moth. Okay, cool. Yep. Let's go. I'm learning.
He was able to weaken the Primarch, and then he flexed on him by carving the previous Grandmaster's name into Mortarion's heart. Now, depending on how much you like the Knights and or how much you think that Chaos is a total joke, this moment may or may not be total bullshit. But it is a canon moment that demonstrates just how powerful of an asset a true name can really be. This moment is totally bullshit though. Anyways though, although Grey Knights are some of the best, if not the best, and they have some of the best, if not the best equipment to face chaos, the forces of chaos are endlessly vicious and viciously endless. So, in the grim darkness of the far future, not even the stalwart Grey Knights are immune to getting stabbed to death by big old demon swords. When killed, if possible, a fallen Grey Knight is taken to the death field to Titan. Their body is then...
But not anymore, because it got stolen.
Cleansed of taints, and then a 666 word oath of sanctity is inscribed on their corpse. But Grey Knights are a lot more interesting alive, so let's talk about their fighting style and unique weapons.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's what Chaos does to men. Angron, Pilgrim, and Magnus also have wings. Chaos. It gives you wings. Red Bull is about to sue. Be careful, Chaos. Not only is a Grey Knight coming for your ass, Red Bull is too. Sorry.
All of the Grey Knight stuff is made on their exclusive Forge World at Deimos. Since Deimos is a moon of Mars, it's one of the smallest Forge Worlds, but it makes some of the most powerful...
Geography. Grey Knights from Titan, moon of Saturn. Their equipment made on Deimos, moon of Mars? Moon of Mars.
Gear. So that's right, fellas. Size doesn't matter. Also, funnily enough, this moon was magically taken from Mars' orbit and put into Titan's orbit.
Oh! No longer moon of Mars. Now, moon of Titan? What? Moved into Titan's orbit? So is it Saturn's moon or is it Titan's moon? Can a moon have a moon? Holy shit, where are the star nerds? Where the frick are the astronomy nerds? Okay. Heard.
How convenient. Of these weapons, we obviously have their arsenal of Nemesis Force weapons that fits their...
A moon can have a moon. Heard. Mars's moon is now Saturn's moon. A moon can have a moon, but don't ask Saturn how he feels. Oh, why? What's wrong with Saturn? Okay. We're learning astronomy. They stole the goddamn moon. I don't know how true it is, but there are rumors to the reason why it's taking Gwyneth because he was touched by chaos and purified it. Oh my gosh. Moons can have moons, guys. I'm learning so much in the 6 minutes. Moons can have moons. Titan was not a big guy, but he was a moon. Everything I'm learning is about moons. Scientists are not very creative, so they are called moons. Oh, scientists. Come on. You know our moon is why we have the tides? Yes, I do know that, because I'm a fish. Titan vanishes from Saturn, returns, and gets another moon around it. Oh. Is Saturn a water planet? Well, I mean, that's not the first and last time the Mechanicum transported a celestial body from one place to another. Technically, but the primary moon has to be friggin' dense and large, and the secondary moon has to be very small and not dense. You can only have a tiny secondary moon. Heard. The tidal current should rip the gas planet around the rings. Oh no! That's no longer convenient. That's dangerous. Put the moon back. Put the moon back. Our moon is also tidally locked. Rest in peace to our moon.
Of these weapons, we obviously have their arsenal of Nemesis Force weapons that fits their nightly theme. Force weapons are weapons that are psychically attuned to the user to be extra deadly to their foes, and extra deadly to their demonic foes. The most common Nemesis weapons are swords, halberds, demon hammers, warding staves, and, coolest of all, dual Nemesis falchions. Woo!
They did put the moon back, but Saturn now has another moon. But I thought they stole the moon from Mars. Didn't they steal Deimos from Mars? Or did they just create another moon and Mars still has Deimos? But it's also Deimos. Titan is the third or second largest moon in our solar system. I thought Jupiter had the largest moons, or does Jupiter just have the most moons? Isn't also that's why the name of the moon is Titan, because it's so big? Mars has no water. Oh, true. You don't need a moon. Sorry, Mars. Largest moon. Ganymede, the moon of Jupiter, is the largest moon. I knew it was Jupiter. Top 3 biggest moons. Ganymede and Titan. And the third, Callisto. Ooh. Heard. Sorry. Random moon thoughts. Got that celestial ADHD. Fun fact, Saturn has one of the biggest shipbuilding ports in the solar system, and the only reason the workers are not killed for being in the Grey Knight's backyard is they make pinky promises. Oh, that's nice. I don't know how true it is, but there are rumors that the reason why Sanguinius has wings is because he was touched by chaos and purified it, so he's a Grey Knight.
Wait, probably just as cool as the Falchions is the mother-flippin' Nemesis Doomfist of the Dreadnoughts and Dreadknights. Woo!
Woo!
Then, in conjunction with their melee armaments, one of the coolest and most iconic aspects of the Grey Knights are their fucking epic arm-mounted storm bolters. Woo!
Woo!
Coolest shit ever. Originally, their Nemesis weapons had bolters on them like Custodes Guardian Spears, but they eventually switched to having arm mounts, probably because it's sick as hell.
Yeah,
the arm
that's
mounts
sick as
free
hell.
up their offhand to better use their melee weapons, but it also keeps them ready to unleash ranged salvos at a moment's notice. These bolters are operated with psychic impulses, and each of their bolts are meticulously crafted over many years. To make even a single blessed null bolt, a person pure of soul and devotion is sacrificed. And you thought 50 cents to shoot a 357 was bad. Phew! The sacrifice of a single person is debatably worth it since null bolts are
Okay. So, if all of their bullets are already made from the blood of loyal people, I guess the Sisters of Battle retcon story makes sense. But also, what? The Dread Knights are also called baby carriers. What? Why?
extremely effective against warp entities as it severs them from the immaterium,
Oh,
and
by the fans.
thus greatly
Got it.
weakening them, if not just straight up killing them. But also, storm bolters shoot like a ton of bolts, so is like a single burst really more effective logistically than a few guardsmen or a gaggle of devoted Imperials? I don't know, but it also shows how insano and callous the Imperium can be, so that's interesting flavoring at least. Also,
just a couple more blood sacrifice to the Emperor, no worries. Okay, what if the blood tide is actually a euphemism for what is happening with all the sacrifice being given to the Emperor, huh? Ever thought about that? Boom, just thought about that right now. Hello? Give me a pen. I'm writing lore. This is not real. Look up the Dread Knight model to see a baby harness. Okay, we're looking at models. The hell is Wahapedia? Oh, Warhammer. I mean, it does look a little baby-like. I see it.
theoretically, these would only be used against greater demons and other threats that are near immune to conventional weaponry, but I play Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, and let me tell
you guys were talking about that.
Hundreds of souls are lost to kill no-name hobo cultists and overly suspicious pillars, so take that as you will. Moving on, some common special weapons that the Knight choose are Psy Cannons, Silencers, and Incinerators. Psy Cannons are basically storm bolters that use an even more insano round charged with negative psychic energy. Then
they have those on
Silencers
Fortnite
are actually
right
a
now.
Xenos weapon modified to be used by the Grey Knights. Their exact function is unknown, but it basically focuses and amplifies the user's psychic energies into energy blasts. These blasts are so potent that they could destabilize demons. And then finally, incinerators are basically just flamethrowers, but with, you guessed it, psychic charging.
Yay!
The Prometheum used is psychically charged to shoot impossibly hot flames and to melt demons with literal hot burning holy faith. Then, up next, we have their iconic Aegis armor. This is a special modified variant of power armor with special psychic circuitry and anti-chaos wards. Once again, many psychers are sacrificed to forge a single suit of Aegis armor. And to me, this is more
also to form their armor. Oh, everybody's dead. What the hell? The Grey Knights can't just make something without killing a guy? Jeez.
justifiable than the damn bolt, since the armor isn't really an expendable resource like the ammo is. But thanks to the kind sacrifice of those psychers, Aegis armor is super durable and resilient against demons, psychic attacks, and obviously conventional weaponry. But
okay, but does the blood of the psyker make it fireproof? Because I don't understand. I don't understand how Space Marine suits are not fireproof. I get that they're just large balls of metal, and that is not fireproof at all. But if you're gonna make something so big and tanky and powerful, why not also make it fireproof? Okay? Come on! It doesn't make it fireproof, but the ceramic plating is very heat resistant. It's Warhammer, you can't make a cup of decaf without killing a few people. And this is why I only drink.
But if they want to be even more unkillable, they can opt for Terminator armor. And uniquely, every single Grey Knight is authorized to use Terminator armor rather than just a veteran, since to even become a Grey Knight, you're already the top of the top. Then, as for Grey Knight tactics, they operate in complete secrecy. Even to other Space Marines, the Knights are either wholly unknown or mere myths. And to those who do witness them, they're mind-wiped or executed.
Lamenter,
to ensure
no!
this secrecy, the Knights are only called to face the most heinous chaos threats. When summoned, they try to complete their objective as quickly as possible. So, they'll teleport close to their enemy as possible, wreck shit, and then teleport away in complete secret. And if any other Imperials do catch a glimpse of them, well, the Inquisition will throw a bitch fit and try to execute all those Imperials. Furthermore, in the tactics department, Grey Knights are often put into specialized squads. Strike squads are the basic unit that forms the backbone of their formations, and Scepter squads are the coolest ones, as they all have personal teleporters to wreak havoc with unparalleled mobility. Then, Purgation squads are the heavy weapon specialists, and finally, the two most elite squads are the Purifiers and the Paladins. Both of these are composed of the most elite and most pure knights in the chapter. The Purifiers are the holiest and most spiritual. They ensure the sanctity of the order while also inspiring their brothers in battle. And
they get
Paladins
locked
are
in the
most
basement.
accomplished fighters in the chapter. These dudes are even nuttier than the average Grey Knight and are some of the most skilled combatants in the Imperium and entire universe for that matter. Then finally, let's close this off with the coolest Grey Knight, nay, the coolest Warhammer unit of all time. The greatest, the most badassest, ultra spectacular killing machine, the Nemesis Dread Knight.
Oh.
Okay, well.
See,
not
I
gonna
saw a
lie,
different picture.
I do kind of like the Dread Knight. It kind of reminds me of those Matrix mechs, or even more badassly, the Lego Exoforce dudes. Plus, this is far from the dumbest thing in the Grey Knights. Their average lore blurb is like 5 times sillier than how this thing looks. If the model could just do anything but...
I didn't notice that these were his feet! No, he looks ridiculous. No, he looks ridiculous. What do you mean? Why couldn't they hide the feet? Come on. Come on. Especially if you can't just take the Space Marine off of the model. That's crazy. I think this part is really given baby carrier. The feet are crazy though. Come on. There's no way. Who designed this? Crazy.
But its silly-ass, awkward prom picture stance, it actually does look pretty badass. Plus, this thing was made to combat...
The feats, I cannot take that seriously. He's doing the splits. I cannot take that seriously. So...
at greater demons, so the imagery of this thing dueling a huge bloodthirster or something is just super hella cool. But that's the Grey Knights. If you want an ultra elite but not quite Custodes elite, super ultra pure mega marines, then these are your boys. Hell, in their entire chapter history, not a single knight fell to chaos. Oh man, that is pure. And also, admittedly, I've never been that big of a Grey Knights fan. I'm more of a Space Wolf enjoyer myself. One big hang-up I have is that I'm torn whether or not I like how silly extreme their lore is. A lot of people say that Grey Knights are an example of grim derp, and that would be because they are. Like, the 1 in a million novitiates becoming Grey Knights thing. A single life for a single bullet. Hundreds of lives for armor, etc., etc. It's just logistically absurd. Like, it's hard to believe that 1,000 Space Marines or something is somehow less effective than a single Grey Knight. Or hell, even a Custodian seemingly has less sacrifice made to make one of them. And I actually love the silly and over-the-top nature of 40k. Grey Knights just kinda skirt the line for me. On one hand, I love that they exemplified the needless, insane sacrifices that the Imperium is willing to make just to try and preserve their dying empire. And I love how it hammers home just how fucking absurdly elite and insano the Knights are. But
he's gonna
on the other
demonetize
hand,
my video.
It's almost just too stupid. And I know some of the Grey Knights' more dumb lore got retconned, but I'm still iffy on them. But, I mean, it's hard not to like super wizard space marines with dual magic swords and an armed machine gun. And also, aesthetically, they're some of my favorites of all time. I'm just not a huge fan of their lore. Also, Grey Knight players can piss off with the wolf hate. So many Grey Knight fans say how stupid and Mary Sue the wolves are, but brother, you literally like the Grey Knights. When you get down to it, the Space Wolves and the Grey Knights are actually quite similar. They pull off absurd feats that shouldn't be possible. They're great against Psychers, they love their runes, and they have crazy extremo characters, and so on and so on. Space Wolves just aren't total dickheads like the Grey Knights are. Also, I don't even care about the OP characters in a setting like 40k since I believe rule of cool trumps most things and OP characters are cool. But just don't be a hypocrite with your blind faction simping. But anyways, I think I sufficiently pissed off all the Knights viewers, so let me know what you think of them. Are they the coolest chapter of all time, super duper mega marines, or are they just grim derps shiny idiots? Let me know in the comments below.
They're just silly little guys. Also, when you guys told me to look up the baby carrier, of course the first image I picked was on Reddit and was not a real image of the baby character, which I didn't know until I read this comment that said this is what it should look like. Fascinating. Patch, thank you, Krakduk. I liked it. My brain could handle this and could reconcept. I think ending the video with a Krakduk video, no matter what I watch, ending the video with something like this that has visuals is perfect. Especially because I got some comments on, like, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video if you were there, if you watched the whole VOD. Some people were saying that like an hour into the reaction or so, like the ADHD brain takes over, and we're not really absorbing the information as much. I'm doing my best to absorb. I took notes, and I think it's refreshing to have, again, visuals, but also to have some information thrown in this way. This is why I like reacting to a lot of different creators too, just to get a good feel of their different styles and different ways of learning and taking in lore. I know a lot of you who are watching VTuber reactions already seen these videos and have already known about the lore, and, you know, probably just want either a refresher or sometimes, you know, you're just watching this to call the people reacting out. And, you know, do you, buddy, do you. This is why I put books in the blender, because I hear we absorb from liquids better. I don't know about that one, but hey, do you, buddy. So yeah. That was the Grey Knights episodes. I know some Warhammer, but learning alongside new people is fun as heck. Yeah, I think there's a small majority of you who don't know about the lore, and we're learning together, and that's kind of cool. There's a large majority of you who are experts, and you help supplement some of the things that I miss in videos, or you add some things that weren't even in the videos at all, or you're able to be like, this is outdated, this is new, X, Y, and Z, which is cool, and I like that. Funny that you say this is one of the first, or the first exposure to VTubers was Stim Pack and her reaction to Warhammer content. Love Stim. Love Stim. So yeah. I hope you liked the video. So again, I put up a question on YouTube asking just to give some ideas of what Space Marine factions to put up on the poll, and we got a lot for the Grey Knights, which is what we did the poll for. Again, we got recommendations for the Black Templars, the Salamanders. So probably the next poll, if it is not going to be an Orky video, we'll have them. And then let me know who else you guys want to see in the comments, because the chat goes away. Yeah. Mine was Matara and the Brickster, and the Adeptus Ridiculous is a fun way to learn. I like it. Hey, one day, you know what? One day, I'm going to be someone's first learning. And that's going to be crazy. And I'm going to apologize. I'd say Blood Raven. You did say, didn't someone also said Blood Ravens? Yeah. So, that'll be the next poll. That'll be what we react to next time. From what I got from you guys today, you don't mind that I kind of just bop around with whatever I'm interested or whatever chat's interested in. So, yeah. Salamanders, Black Templars. We're getting into it. Riri's learning. Oh, Riri got into Warhammer before I did. I just played Space Marines first. Yeah. Blood Raven's lore, you can play a big part via Dawn of War. What's that? We still got Rogue Trader to play, guys. AJ just bought us Space Marine 1, so now we gotta play Space Marine 1. We gotta play Rogue Trader. What was that game you guys were talking about that had the Grey Knights? Chaos, Demon, Dungeon, whatever. Gotta play that. And yeah. Tomorrow, in the morning, probably, a morning stream. So right now, I'm in the Central Standard Time in the US. So it's 6:42 my time right now. Whatever it is in your time, in my time, and it's 6:42. So tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna post the waiting room after I'm done with this video. It's going to be the sponsored video stream from Zephyr Arcade. We are going to unbox the package sent, and if there's anything in there to build, we're going to build it. Dawn of War is the 40k video game before Space Marine 2. Oh. Everything is bringing you further from Monster Hunter. Okay, I'm sorry. I tried. Throw Dawn of... Wait, let me see if I have Dawn of War, actually. Because like I said, I have a shared Steam library with a few friends. So my Warhammer Space Marine 2 was actually not mine. That's why I played it. And that's why I also didn't have Space Marine 1, because nobody in my library had it. Let me see. Warhammer. What is it? Dawn of... Oh! I have Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Is that the one? Is that the one we want? Definitive... Yeah, that works? Okay. Okay! So we have that. That's it! Okay, guys. Let's freaking go. Damn. You can play as the boys? Holy... You should have led with that. I might do that before Rogue Trader. Sorry to the person who's been waiting for Rogue Trader. I have just been informed I can play as an orc. Hello? That changes everything. How long is the playtime for Dawn of War? Is it long? Because I know Rogue Trader's long, which is why I moved it until I was done with Space Marine 2. But now we have Space Marine 1 and we have Dawn of War. So I need to reevaluate. I'm sorry to that person waiting for Rogue Trader. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get there. Trust me. I will get there. Okay? Okay. 3, maybe 4 hours. That's it? Guys, Rogue Trader's coming faster than you thought. In Dark Crusader Soulstorm, you can play a campaign as Orcs, Space Marines, Necrons. Dark Crusader Soulstorm. It doesn't look like I have that one. I do have Chaos Gate. That's the one you guys said to play, right? That's the one with the Grey Knights. The main campaign is not that long, but the expansions are longer. Got it. How long to complete is 12 hours? Oh my god, if it's my ass, it's gonna be 15. Guys, don't lie to me. I played Space Marine 2 on easy mode. Come on. They are all in the definitive edition. Okay. Let's freaking go. The first expansion, Winter Assault? Oh. But I have the definitive edition, so I should be okay. Okay. RTS is basically RimWorld? Guys. This is the stuff you need to tell me. And you can paint your armies, guys. You need to lead with this information. 1, there's orcs. 2, it's like RimWorld. 3, you can paint your armies. Hello? Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay. We're gonna freaking get into an ad, and I already skipped all of the ads I can skip. Tomorrow, I will put the waiting screen online on YouTube, and then I'll put it in the Discord. But we have the sponsored stream by Zephyr Arcade tomorrow. We're gonna unbox what they sent. We're gonna build some stuff. We're gonna go shopping. And we're gonna use my code for 10% off. Okay, thanks everybody!
Oh my God, you're huge!
Bye, 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 bye. I'm sorry if the ad cuts you off. This is the end screen. Goodbye, YouTube. Love you the most. Goodbye, Twitch. Love you the most. Love you all the most. Oh, frick. We gotta raid someone on Twitch. I know how to be a streamer. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. Welcome, new fishies, Akiva, Evil, and Owen's Mark. Thank you for the gifty to Patreon. Thank you for the resub, AJ, and thank you for the 5 gifties, Dreadnought. Thank you for the biddies, Grand Tourist, and Garius, Angel, and Dreadnought. Bye, everybody. Bye, 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 bye. Who am I raiding? What the heck? Oh my god, it's me. It's me in the Warhammer. Okay, well, I guess we're not raiding any Warhammers. Oh! We'll raid a friend of mine. Take me places. We're going places. This is a remission, second remission. Bye, 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 bye. Drink water or else.